And we are live. Welcome, everyone, to Bardic Inspiration. This is Dungeons and Dragons in Shakespearean Style. I am your dungeon master, Adam Hembry, and with me tonight is a brand new distribution of our talented improvisers because we are having a Halloween special, the second of our Witchy One-Shots. Don't call it a Witchy Two-Shot. It's not. Tonight, we've got Elizabeth, John Mark, Meg, and Ryan, who are going to be playing Ziggy, Drake, Lenore, and Churl, all of whom are witches, because it is All Hallows Eve, and we wanted to celebrate. If you have not yet, after tonight, you should go check out our first Witchy One-Shot from last week, which was called Fair is Foul. It featured some of our other players taking a break from their usual roles to play witches. And tonight will be Foul is Fair on the same night, but on a different part of our world entirely. Before we introduce the story and have a look at our witches for the night, I do want to give a couple of important shout outs. The first of which is to Walrock Homebrew, the creator of this incredible homebrew witch class for Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. I have been aching to play one of these witches or have a game with these witches for like a year since I found this on DM's Guild. The link should be below in the description. If it's not now, it will be by the time we are uploaded on Tuesday. You should check it out and buy it. It's like $5 on DM's Guild.
What a treat.
You don't own it yet. Why is that?
It's only a bargain if you use it, though. So use it.
Use it.
Use it.
Mm-hmm. Use it. Tonight, I would also like to extend my thanks to all of you who have been watching us over the last few months with the Magical Cane Band and the Headless Marys, our two simultaneous ongoing campaigns in this homebrew world of Aorn and the Nation of Eston. Each campaign has hit its 10th episode in their last airings 2 weeks ago, and they're going to have two more this November before we take a break for the Australian summer and Christmas holidays. It'll be 24 episodes of Bardic Inspiration campaign, not counting, of course, our one-shots like these two and our Doppelganger special, Triple Double, which you should also check out. If you haven't yet, you should subscribe here to our YouTube channel and set the reminder for when our streams are upcoming. And you should find us on Twitter and TikTok at Bardic_inspo. I believe that is all the admin bits of business. Time to kick it to the spoopy business.
We have 2 minutes to say what happened last time?
You absolutely do not. I won't be doing that. No, none
of
you were there.
2 minutes. Then should we have 2 minutes for what's going to happen this time?
You want to make some prophecies?
I probably could.
I'll tell you what, John Mark. You make me a rhyming prophecy right now, I'll try to make it come true.
This eve thou all shall see a rhyming prophecy coming from me. But good friends, that's now in the past. Let me tell you about the future. I struggle to think of a word that rhymes with future. Computer. I failed.
This is going really well.
So far,
I'm so proud of you.
Yes, and is what we're going for.
You have not told a lie. Tonight, fair has already been foul, but now foul is fair. Last week, we hovered through some fog and filthy air. And this week, again, we will meet at a crossroads. The evening is the 16th of Peas Blossom, a very special month on Aorn's calendar, in this, the year 1600 of the Common Era, as it is currently reckoned. Peas Blossom is a special month. It is the second month of spring, but it is also one of the only months of the year, maybe the only month of the year, where there is a blue moon. That is 2 full moons. It is therefore a very significant month for those practitioners of the ancient occult arts. Magics, some would say, are older and wilder and stranger than the arcane arts you may be taught in academies like the Arcaneum in Orst. It is the practitioners of these arts who meet together tonight at a crossroads far in the wilds of Eston, in the shadows of the Dawn Guard, a massive mountain in the ranges overlooking Lake Lewin, and far removed from their episode. 4 different witches shall there meet tonight at the intersection of 2 roads, one that runs north and south to Gadmouth, the north, and then to Calda, another nation to the south, and the other, a road that dead ends nearby here in the mountain range and goes east to the capital city of Orst. But where these 2 important roads meet, there is often no real traffic to speak of. It is a desolate place, and often vacant. Surrounding the intersection of these roads are halves of wood and pole sticking up at strange intervals. Spars of wood like halves of brooms or perhaps spears emerge from the ground. It is the small hours of the morning, dark and unseasonably cold for a spring night. I would like for you to cast your mind upward into that dark sky where there is no moon and the stars only faintly visible. If you were a crow in that starry night sky and you were winging your way above these roads, you would see these 4 figures converging together from these crossroads. And I would like for each of our players to introduce your character and tell us, what would that crow see, presuming it could see most perfectly. What would we see when we look at Ziggy, Elizabeth?
Ziggy is a tiefling. She has a pair of flaming red horns and hot pink hair, really, really long, like down to probably her ankles. She's wearing like a fluoro green long dress and a purple cloak, and she has a little ferret on her shoulder.
Thank you very much. Ziggy, winging along nearby, if we were to see Drake. John Mark, describe Drake for us.
Drake is an orc, so his skin's a tinge of green. Very average looking orc, has a dad bod, roughly like 5'8". Couple of big like teeth that come out of his lower, out of his jaw. And he has a top knot and some long hair, so kind of like half up, half down like this. And he's wearing just some raggedy shirt and some kind of like Shrek, but then also has a leather apron on top. And also has a magpie sitting on his shoulder.
Important. Moving along, we see the somewhat shorter figure of Lenore. Meg, tell us about Lenore.
So the crow would have done well to notice next to Drake is a little black lump. She is a tiny goth, basically. She is a halfling and all in black, and she has long black hair, and she's hiding twofold, one literally behind Drake, but 2 behind dark fringe. So she sort of peers out at the world through her hair and warily at best. She's very
nice.
shy.
Yeah. Thank you, Meg. And moving on to last but certainly not least, Churl, our turtle witch. Ryan, tell us about Churl.
Churl is old and he walks very slowly with a determined gait. On his back is everything he owns. He has fashioned many adornments to his shell to arrange little hidey holes and crevices for all of his goodies and components, and even a little hidey hole for his firm friend who he calls Hair, who is a hare. He has red markings on his face, and he has a stick. And on the stick is the skull of a raven who he had the pleasure of eating himself. All bar the skull.
Thank you, Churl. For those who have not yet seen, you should follow us either on Twitter or follow Sooth Players on Facebook to see Ryan's portrait of Churl. It's really fantastic.
Speaking of ravens, there's one standing on Lenore's head.
Yeah, it would be on your head. That's great. Now, is Nevermore a typical black raven? Is that kind of the vibe?
He's probably a bit larger than most.
Sure, quite a sight then to behold on a halfling's head.
Yeah.
I wonder how lightly hither sits.
Doesn't seem to notice.
Makes sense. It is long after midnight dreary, and you might yourselves feel weak and weary. Tonight it is late, near the hour that is just before the first inklings of dawn's light begin to crest in the east, where the Dawn Guard sees it first and wins its name. This is the hour of pure quiet in the old tales, an hour that is most associated with death itself, the pure dark and pure silence before dawn awakes everything that needs to awaken. When you come together at these crossroads, you know that you have arrived at the hour and the place of your appointed meeting. Over the past 10 days, each of you has at various intervals had strange encounters. Your familiars, one after the other, when you are alone, perhaps eating your breakfast or going on a walk, tending to your potions. Suddenly, your familiar, perhaps in mid-speech, would go blank-eyed, and then a different voice speak to tell you of this important engagement at this hour, at this place, on this date. And so here you are, your familiars unable to inform you of what happened, barely even having memory of the occasion themselves, perhaps equally as concerned as you might be. You were given instructions that under no circumstances could you miss your hour, and that great eyes would be watching should you prove yourselves. So, you are at a crux yourselves, a turning point. Will you prove yourselves? We'll find out. Do you have anything to say to each other as you meet together here this night? You see each other coming from perhaps your own different ways, although you work together frequently. You all arrive at about the same time. So, our witches, I'll turn it over to you. How is it that you greet each other?
Jill? Ziggy?
Hi.
Cheers.
Lenore, Drake, Lenore, Nevermore,
Lenore.
Drake, Ziggy, Hare.
Just I think that this is all our company. The two of you, I know why Lenore is here, but the two of you are here for what reason?
Oh, I was told there would be a big eye, and I'm all about the eyes on me. I'm all about being seen. I'm trying to increase my audience at the moment. And so any extra eyes I can get on me, especially a big eye, is going to benefit me greatly. That's why
It wasn't big eyes, it was great eyes. And that's exactly what I needed for a potion I'm working on currently. 2 great eyes. Didn't say whether they needed to be newtish. So I'm assuming they'd be good to go.
So we
Lenore.
all got the same message, I gather. Lenore?
Lenore will pop out from behind Drake, kind of muttering, never more said so, never more said so. Hello, Chell, and pat him on the hand like this. Hello, Chell. Never more said to come, never more said so.
I say, I do believe I did. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Alarming.
Why does your raven wear a bow tie?
It suits him. I made it. I think it suits. It never more said to come, and then she'll duck back behind Drake.
It suits me.
Yes, Lenore, I agree. That bow tie looks dashing on Evermore.
Thank you, Ziggy.
Nevermore.
Welcome.
And never more.
Nevermore.
He said to come.
Nevermore. As did Maggie.
Yes, very well, of course I did. But I don't have any memory, of course.
I don't like Maggie. No offense, Drake.
I beg your humble pardon. Ziggy, why ever so?
You sound like my high school bully.
Oh, is that so?
Drake, make her stop.
I'm sure I can think of a few things she might have said.
I wish I could, Ziggy, but one must respect his elders.
Look, I already get enough haters on my platform, okay? And by platform, I mean a literal wooden platform I stand on in front of a crowd, and I don't need no more hate from a magpie bird, okay?
Oh, Ziggy, is it really a crowd?
Ziggy. Maggie.
It may not be a crowd, but there's at least more than one person there. So whatever you define as a crowd, Maggie.
Three.
Indeed.
Well, then fine, it's not a crowd, okay? But that is exactly why I'm here, because I need this great big eye.
But Ziggy, we are three. We are three here before thee. But she's looking straight at Maggie. And she's, Maggie, dost thou not remember? Nevermore doesn't remember. Why don't you remember? Nevermore doesn't remember.
Calm. There are many things in the womb of time that have not been delivered to my memory. Any of us who have perhaps some diversion enjoyed might find that memory is not a perfect trap, and well, mine has misgiven on this. In sooth, it is rather strange.
It's probably because you have a small brain.
Ziggy. 'Tis true, Maggie can be bullish at times, but participating makes you part of the problem.
I'm the problem now? Did you hear what she was saying to me?
Makes you part of it. Do I need to separate the two of you?
I cast Minor Illusion, a giant cat.
Okay. Where are you putting the cat?
Cast an illusion of my familiar.
Yeah, that's happening.
On Drake's other shoulder.
Okay, well, your DC is a 15, right?
Yeah.
All right, first roll of the night. Get excited.
Yeah, just roll a d20.
I'm gonna roll. So Maggie has to roll and is gonna fail. It's a good time to shout out Matt Day for creating Rollcast, which lets us have those slick dice rolls. Maggie is gonna flip out. What? And then like leap. You know that kind of quick leap like birds or cats can do where they don't think about it and they dig a bit hard when they jump. So it's going to sting your shoulder a little bit, Drake. She flutters off into the night. Oh, yeah. I mean, she's on your shoulder unless you're not wearing armor or anything. Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah. No, the cat is just weightless. It's totally an illusion.
That's what I thought.
Maggie just flutters off. into the night.
See you next time, bird.
A strange thing happens at that laugh. It first booms out into the night, the cackle emanating off the nearby scraggling trees. But then the sound muffles. In fact, it's very quiet. Hard to hear even the ambient sounds, the cicadas, frogs, the springtime noises that normally would define even this very late hour of the night or late hour of the morning. You could swear Maggie had been shouting in consternation, but you don't hear her. Up above, the stars begin to dim in the already moonless night. And then you hear a sound which stands in great relief in that silence, even though it's not a loud sound itself. It is the sound of a stream of water, faint, burbling, as though it's right nearby. And then before you, as though it has been there all along, there is a third road meeting your crossroads. And there is a figure walking down that road. She is a middle-aged human woman with graying wild locks of hair that are tumbling down to either side of her shoulders. She's wearing plain brown robes, but she's not alone. On her left side, there is a pure white, large cat, very floofy, like a Maine Coon, striding proudly. On her shoulder, a blood-red raven sits and stares out at all of you unblinking. And then walking alongside her right, there is a big black dog. She arrives.
Serious?
She arrives.
Serious?
She seems very serious.
Yes.
She
I'm not allowed
arrives.
to be frivolous.
That's theory.
She arrives at the crossroads and looks at each of you in turn.
Lenore has disappeared into a little cloud of darkness.
To the rest of you, Lenore fades away as
She's
the
just
dark seems to swallow her even better than her hiding place behind Drake. However, the lady looks at all of you in the eye. Lenore, even if you're not where you can see, her gaze is a strange thing, like cold on the back of your neck.
I can see her, I think.
Oh, okay. If you're not hiding totally behind Drake, then
Oh, yeah, no,
see.
no.
You'll see that she makes eye contact with you. Well met, walkers of our ancient path, keepers of our aftermath. Round about the world we'll go, where'er the silver spring doth flow. Tonight, a moon hath turned her shining back, and left the gloaming evening black. The darkest night for darkest deeds, when spirit from the veil so daring speeds. Your sisters in our mortal arts did give their blood and other parts to quell the madness of this eve. 'Tis left to you one work to weave. Quell the light and raise what's past, and work you quick, the morn comes fast. When water teems with foulest bubbles, anoint the fallen with its troubles. Mischief done, prepare thine eyes. Your art will blaze when sun doth rise. And on the word rise, she is gone. There is a single call of a raven's voice from everywhere and nowhere. Evermore on your head, Lenore, starts at the sound.
And we'll fade back into view slowly.
All of your familiars are quaking, silent, hiding behind you, curling up into jacket pockets if they can. Maggie silently has winged her way back, nuzzled up against the side of your head, Drake, and hid her head beneath her wing.
Is the path still there?
The third path is still there, and indeed, the sound of running water is louder, closer, somehow, more insistent.
Methinks the four of us are called here for a purpose, and this path may be it. Shall we proceed?
Shell walks.
You walk down the third road.
Yeah.
All right. Do the rest of you accompany Tro?
Yeah, Lenore will just grab a little piece of Drake's cloak.
Drake whispers to Maggie. Maggie, art thou okay?
I felt. And then she switches from speaking out loud to speaking telepathically in your mind, as all as your familiars can with each of you. I felt her name.
Her name?
I cannot say it.
But must I know it?
Soon you will. This is what we spoke about. I'm sure of it. This is it. A higher purpose.
Aye. The answer be here?
Down this path, I'm sure of it. And I am afraid, Drake.
Afraid of what? For this is what you've been asking for.
I know, Drake. I do know. And my heart would burst to see it so. And yet I fear. Can I know peace when such perfection draweth near? Perhaps I shall repent for having my dear hopes be so spent.
Perhaps this is just part of the journey to peace. But perhaps this part here be a necessary step.
I ne'er till this moment thought it would be a fearful thing to be free.
Fear not. This is my journey too. I'm here with thee. And we have a motley crew, but one we must trust. Power in numbers, aye?
Aye, Drake. I fear some misery befalls us.
In a way that can I predict things? No, I can't yet.
Under certain circumstances, there is a feature you can take advantage of.
Yes. What is that? Where is it? Where is it?
It is your second level feature.
One.
As a Gibbous Moon Coven member.
It is not augury. Augury.
Augury is a spell. Are you going to cast the spell?
That will tell us, wouldn't it? Layout. You plan to take when the next DM chooses the following possible omens. Aye.
Yes, with Augury, you may ask about a single course of action, and if applicable, I will give you an omen of whether that course of action will lead to weal or good results, or woe, or some mixture of the two.
Hi, Maggie. Would it ease thy mind if I found out, if I asked for an omen, if we take this path?
It is my fondest wish and my greatest fear. Do it.
Aye. Drake pulls out a deck of cards and starts to lay out the deck of cards.
Okay.
This is all free.
Are you going to pause at the crossroads while the rest of the party moves forward down the path?
Yeah, except Lenore. Lenore hasn't moved at all.
Okay.
I'll
Well,
notice that he's casting a spell, so I'll just take a couple of steps away and just sit cross-legged on the ground, wait for him. He's
Okay.
done this before.
Now, are you casting this as a ritual, Drake? It will take you 1 minute. So, tell us what it looks like when Drake is using his cards.
So he puts out the cards, and he starts to, and he puts his hands over the cards and starts to hum. Starts to hum. And then the cards start to light up and move.
All right. That will take a minute as you move through that process. So I'd like to direct. Sorry.
If it's a ritual, then it is a spell. It's still a spell slot.
You do not consume a spell slot if you cast it as a ritual.
You've got on my sheet. It doesn't have ritual next to it.
That's probably my mistake. I'm looking at the spell description now, and it does have the ritual tag. Some spells you can cast not as a ritual and burn a spell slot to do so instantaneously. I don't believe this spell gives you that option. I could be wrong, but in any case, no harm done to take a minute.
Right.
As you let the power of the weave of fate move through your hands and through your mind, Churl and Ziggy, you continue down the path. You have a moment to yourself then, as the darkness becomes more absolute around you. Is there anything you'd like to do while you're walking or say?
Is Lenore nearby?
She stayed behind with Drake where he's reading his cards.
All right. You know, Cheryl, I've been looking at you and I've been thinking that, green is a bit of an outdated, it's a bit of an outdated color. How would you feel about a shell makeover of sorts? I can just whip up a quick little spell, and I can make you look on the edge of leading fashion. I can spruce you up a little bit. You can look like a turtle with power. Power as in fashion power. The power to walk into a room and make people go, wow, that turtle's got style.
Is there anything about me that seems to say that I am concerned with what other people think about my stylish pursuits or nay? For I have never cared not a whit for what people have to think of my duds. And so I continue to walk. Here, pass me a full head of lettuce, will you?
A full head? Or you're going to eat all of it?
What?
You're going to eat all of it?
Well, I'll see when I have it in my hand. I'll decide whether I'll eat all of it, and it's none of your business whether I eat all of it or whether I eat a little bit and then give the rest back to you to put away after I've had a little nibble.
Oh, tain't any of my business, is it? Well, perhaps it is my business to be as hare-like as I can. It is what you have instructed me. Now, how then am I to keep this charade if I do not have any lettuce to eat next time some unsuspecting sort doth come here and then ask, oh, what a fine hare this is?
Hare?
Hare?
As soon as you give me the lettuce, I can eat some of the lettuce and then give you the rest back if I want. And if I don't want, I'll eat the rest of the lettuce. And might I add that I have multiple lettuces, in my back. And so you can have one of those to maintain the charade, as you so say.
Then I believe we have a bargain struck. And then he just leaps in a sort of preternaturally far rabbit leap, hanging just a little too long in the air, landing on the back of Churl's shell and skittering about in the various compartments contained therein. And you hear him chuckling to himself when he locates what he's after. And then one of them kind of rolls up at rapid pace the back of your shell and then donks you in the back of your head, nesting in the crook of your turtle neck there for your perusal. It has a single bite taken out of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did I not say I wanted a full head of lettuce?
Oh, memory mine is not what it once were. I know not what to say. I've been going blank-eyed and saying strange things of the night and eating strange things of the night.
And you know it, chap.
I fear dire warnings coming. I sense an omen. Great eye, great eye.
I'll give you an omen.
Right.
Right up the clacker.
Drake, it's been about a minute. Tell me, as you read your cards, the intended action that you are dwelling your mind's eye upon that you wish an omen for.
The intended action.
So the spell is you must think about a specific course of action you plan to take in the next 30 minutes.
Right.
So what is that course of action? And I will tell you if it gives you a sign for good luck or bad luck.
That we follow the path and nothing untoward happens, and then Maggie comes back.
So the intended course of action is to follow the path. You want to know what happens if you follow the path?
Yes.
All right. As is often the case, two things happen at once. First, your vision blurs. And again, the already darkened, winking lights of stars fade. Around you, to your vision, is naught but blackness. The crossroads then illuminates. Nothing outside of it is visible. And suddenly, gleaming, the shafts, the hafts of wood or brooms, whatever they are, shafts begin to glow. Golden light from each all around, near each of the points of the triple crossroads. They hum with a kind of strange sound, rhythmic. Their heartbeats. This isn't the sort of thing that usually happens when you cast this spell. The second thing that happens almost at the same time, as your vision is fading, Churl and Ziggy appear, arriving at the crossroads from the other side of the third road. Churls is holding a partially eaten head of lettuce and seems to be churlishly haranguing hair wherever hair is hiding. And Ziggy seems to be really closely eyeing Churl's face. For what purpose is hard to say. And around this time, Churl and Ziggy, you would realize you have arrived again at the crossroads.
Egg?
Chill.
Ziggy, Lenore, Evermore,
Hello.
me.
Hmm. What? What art thou doing? You, you did just henceforth vanish this way. How is it you have come from that?
I would hazard a guess that we're not supposed to go that way, and that's why we're back here.
Drake.
Take the rest,
what-
Tab. Will you put it away?
Oh, take the rest, he says, and a deal he hath. And you hear loud chomping sounds.
Lenore will get up and wander over and absentmindedly just pat Churl, but in her head she's actually muttering out loud, never more that pretty lady to tell us to quell the light. She told us to quell the light to make it dark. Dark is good. We can quell the light. Nevermore. The pretty lady said we had to quell the light.
Ah, yes. An excellent observation. And so she did. Hold now. And then Nevermore freezes.
What is it? Dark. We like the dark.
Hold now. Hold now. He repeats this pattern, moving his head from road to road to road. Hold now. Maggie
Which way?
begins to act strangely, moving her head left, right, forward. Hair stops whatever he was doing. The munching noises cease. And then a scrabbling noise. His hair lands on the ground, staring stock still down one of the paths.
Lenore and
Maggie.
Nevermore fade to black again.
Maggie stares stock still down one of the paths. Nevermore, though currently obscured by darkness, is staring stock still down the other path. And each of those paths begins to lighten.
What's Hillary doing? Is she just sleeping?
Hillary has been quiet thus far.
Okay.
In fact, you realize, if you're thinking, look, Hillary is not on you.
What?
She seems to have slunk away, as she is wont to do. And around that time, after a little bit longer of a scrabbling, Hillary also emerges from one of the compartments in Churl's shell and is staring lock still at you, Ziggy. Down one path, what was a faint glow in the distance grows brighter. A red ball of light, or so feet off the ground, bears down towards the crossroads. A yellow orb of light from another path does the same. And the blue goes drifting over all of your heads. The three of them come to a resting point in the center of the crossroads and begin to slowly rotate.
Quell the light, Drake. Quell the light. Quell the light, Drake. And she's just patting him. But that means she fades back into view because she moved. So she's not dark anymore.
You're right. Like, quell the light.
Quell the light.
I can cast darkness.
Quell the
All
light,
right.
Ziggy.
So you can. Ziggy, are you going to cast darkness?
Yeah, let's do it. But before I do that, I'm going to use prestidigitation to put eyeshadow on Churl without him knowing.
Okay. Make a sleight of hand check if you want to do it on the sly.
Okay.
I believe it has a somatic component.
All right. Oh, it's a +0. Okay.
Quell the light, Nevermore. Quell the light, and she'll get him to fly towards the light to see if she can literally pull the light out again, but based on him.
Okay, hold that thought. Churl, you don't have any feats that increase your passive perception, do you? Okay, what's your perception bonus?
+2.
All right, Ziggy pulled it off.
And red
15 beats a 12. What color is Churl's eyeshadow?
purple.
Lovely, glittering purple eyeshadow bedecks Churl's face. You don't feel anything, Churl.
No, I don't. I'm a husk.
Lenore, you've just told Nevermore to go quell the light. Is that right?
Yeah, she's oscillating between the two. Darkness, Ziggy, darkness. Quell the light, Nevermore. Make it darkness, Ziggy.
Okay. Now,
Still holding the edge of Drake's cloak.
So, Nevermore says, "Very well, right away." Takes off, winging towards these strange lights, and sort of takes a wary circle around them, and they are just slowly rotating over the ground. Each of these orbs maybe be like a foot or two in diameter, but the light they emanate goes further. Red, blue, yellow, rotating slowly. They are the brightest thing in the near vicinity. Your eyes are having to adjust to the strange new coloration of the world around you. Nevermore lands on the ground, looks back at you, Lenore, and then does a few little crow runs, or raven runs, I should say, skittering forward to directly under them. And then darkness in a 10-foot radius expands from Nevermore. And you can still see a red light, a blue light, a yellow light moving through them. Ziggy, are you going to cast darkness?
Do we think that it's going to have a compounding effect, or are these orbs just too magical to be put out with the basic darkness spell?
You know that darkness, as a practitioner, Ziggy, you know that darkness is magical darkness, which is a little bit different than regular darkness.
Yeah.
It does have a kind of competition with other light spells, and sometimes it can win that competition depending on the nature of things. Non-magical light cannot illuminate your darkness spells. You can cast it on an object or a place.
Okay. Well, I will cast darkness as well.
Meanwhile,
Okay.
Lenore just go, no good, Nevermore, no good, come back.
Nevermore will take a few hops and then wing away, seeming wary, doesn't want to fly through the orbs themselves.
How high up is it?
The orbs? They're about 6 feet off the ground at the moment.
Okay.
Okay. So just about our height. Maybe a little bit taller.
Your height.
Can I try and swing my stick at it just to see whether there's like?
Yeah, you can go and do that. Churl, when you swing your stick, it passes through the orbs of light as though insubstantial. There's nothing physical to stop your stick. Ziggy, you cast your spell, darkness. Now, what's it look like when Ziggy casts the spell? Or
She opens her mouth and she goes, darkness funnels out of her.
Oh,
Eyes go black, and then her horns go. Darkness shooting out of every orifice, and the horns.
every orifice.
Yeah.
Okay. Ziggy, you do this, and the blackness begins to spread from your mouth and horns and other places.
Mhm.
And then it doesn't.
Hmm.
You're still holding your pose, and the darkness is coming out, and then the spell does not take effect.
So the globes, the orbs are still there.
The globes are still there. You have cast your spell, but something has stopped it.
So they're just like they're still now. They're not.
They're still there. They're moving.
Yeah.
Ziggy tried to cast a spell. It did not execute.
Right.
Did not work.
I thought you meant that the orbs are no longer like they're stagnant. They're not moving. Something stopped the spell. Okay, great.
It stopped. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
It was the attempt to cast that spell was abortive in that regard. It is.
Okay. I'm going to use detect magic
Mm-hmm.
on the orbs.
Okay. You're going to do that. Are you going to burn a spell slot or take 10 minutes to cast it as a ritual?
What is that? Another ritual?
Yeah.
Take 10. Oh, how long's it been since I cast the last one?
Didn't.
No, a few minutes, but the last one was over after a minute, and then you did a spell. So you haven't spent a spell slot.
Yeah, I'll use a spell slot.
Okay, that makes it instantly. How does Drake cast detect magic?
He holds up one of his cards, one of his magic cards, one of his cards from the deck, and just like waves it in his hand, waves it like that, and tries to, and it hums.
Ziggy, I'd like for you to make an Arcana check while that's happening.
Great. Love to.
Okay. Now, detect magic allows you to detect an aura of any kind of particular school of magic.
So it says, like, if I sense magic, I can use my action to see a faint aura around any visible creature or object in the area that bears magic.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you can do that. Okay.
That was a practice roll. I need a roll again.
Why is that? You will note your learnings should appear in the in our chat. You've got a whisper. If you can see that.
That just for me?
That's just for you. Can you see the little red one?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks to the miracle of rollcast.
Have I ever heard of anything like this before?
Make an Arcana check yourself, Churl, while we're looking. You're
Can I
looking
make
at
a
things.
history check?
Sure, if you like. Tales of such phenomenon. Drake, you are looking at these orbs. I take it, yes.
Yes.
25 for Churl. Very nice.
Wow.
Okay. So I'm going to make sure I'm right about this. You're looking at those orbs. Sorry, I just realized your note there. To your question, Elizabeth, unfortunately, no. And I'm happy to explain why when all things come out, but there is a reason. Evocation is the school of magic that is gleaming off of these orbs. But also, and this is what's a bit strange, usually there's only one strong signature of a school of magic off of something. There is also a heavy signature of conjuration from the center of these orbs. Now, having been a practitioner yourself for a long time, you know that spells like light and daylight are evocation spells. They are, sometimes evocation means used for attack and defense, but it also just means like calling something forth.
Yep.
And you know that conjuration, on the other hand, is about making something out of nothing, or calling things from other planes, like demons, for example. And if I'm not mistaken, teleportation might even be conjuration. It's about bringing something into being. So that is the very strong signature that you're getting.
Conjuration more than evocation?
Conjuration, almost like a glowing gleam in the center of these orbs, and then evocation being like a kind of corona around those centers. Yeah, both strong signatures.
Right. Okay. When you say it's in the middle of the orb, it's not at an orb. It's in the, like, if the orbs are making a triangle, it's in the middle of the triangle.
Imagine, if you will, like you're staring at a torch in the distance, or even a street light in our time, and like you can see the ball of light, and you get closer, and you can make out the contours of the lamp or the burning wood or whatever it is that's emitting it. It's
Yeah.
kind of like that. There's an orb of light, but then in the middle where it's the brightest,
Yeah.
when you cast detect magic, you do see like a more discrete outline of a smaller sphere within
Cool.
that.
All right.
So there's a sphere in the middle, and then there's like the spheres circling it. Is that it?
Yeah, yeah. It's like
Yeah.
like
Cool.
looking at the sun almost, and that there's a real bright thing itself, but then it's so bright that the air around it is like a halo, kind of. Now, this is what Drake can see using detect magic. To the rest of you, this is just big red ball of light, big yellow ball of light, big blue ball of light. Churl, you roll a 25 on that history check, yeah?
I'm very old.
You are, and you've seen some things. What's more, in the way that witches, if you can say anything about all witches, which is hard, generally speaking, witches keep their knowledge in a variety of ways, not just books in libraries. In fact, many witches are distrustful of large institutions in that way. But you keep records of things in song and verse because they're easier to remember, and they're passed down. Now, you might also find such things written down on individual spell books as kind of mnemonics or recipes, receipts for spells. But also the same is true of tales. And in your many years of traveling, something does ring a bell to you. It's a very obscure chant. It has to do with a strange sect that worshipped light itself. It's hard to think about the particulars because honestly, it's one of those things you read about and be like, oh, you know what? Some people are ridiculous. It is a strange thing what some people will believe. The poem was something about split the truth into its shards, hide the truth with tongue of bards. What was the next bit? When all is still, so conquered all. The living prism, witness all. That's what sticks out. In fact, the living prism, there's like a proper noun to associate with this thing. Maybe that was it.
Mm. Could these
Ziggy.
be the great eyes?
Ziggy, to your question, you could not do the thing that you asked to do because you need to be able to see the source of that problem to address it the way you wanted to.
Drake's going to use Toll the Dead on the light in the middle.
Okay. Toll the Dead is a cantrip that requires a save. You cast your spell. Toll the Dead is a work of necromancy. Does it look any different when Drake casts that spell? His cards?
Oh, maybe your holds up.
Does it get Lenore to do it?
No, Drake has the
No, I know.
the cantrip.
Do you have Toll the Dead as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a crowd. A crowd of knells for the dead.
No, I think he just lets out his hand.
And when he does so, the loud, ominous
Boom.
toll of a bell shakes the air around the crossroads. It does not seem to affect these lights.
Whoa.
There is not a creature there to make a saving throw against your spell. You can't seem to reach out with that manipulation of sympathetic magic to resonate that necrotic damage with it.
Why dost thou summon thy bell? Drake, dost thou think that light is alive?
I think there is something casting light.
Oh.
I think
The
there's
sound, excuse me, Drake,
No,
the sound of gurgling water has grown louder.
Drake, that pretty lady said to, and we have to anoint the fallen with the water, with the bad water, with the dirty water. that pretty lady said. We have to quell the light and raise what's past and get the bad water and anoint the fallen. That's what she said.
Aye. I'm glad you remembered. Drake runs towards and like tries to grab the you know what I mean.
I think my internet may have split there for a second. Are you trying to grab the orbs?
No, the thing that's casting the orb, the one that's emitting the aura.
So John, I think you're a little bit confused. The orbs have a core. So all three of them, there's a like.
Yeah.
So it's not one thing casting the.
No. It's at each of the three. There is a brilliant red sort of center, brilliant blue sort of center, brilliant white sort of center, a bit smaller than what everyone else can see. You want to try to grab one?
Yeah, I'll try to grab one.
Okay.
I can look for the dragon. If I can look and see, and now I'll cast Detect Evil and Good on the orbs.
Very interesting.
Show me if there's.
Let's learn about Detect Evil and Good.
So, is there an aberration, celestial, elemental, fey, fiend, or undead within 30 feet?
Tick, 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 tick.
It is one action centered on yourself within 30 feet of you. That's right. It will last for 10 minutes. It is a concentration spell. Lenore, what's it look like when you cast Detect Evil?
I think all of the spells that Lenore casts are all exactly the same. She sort of lowers her head so her eyes are even more behind her fringe. She's just muttering to herself. And depending on which spell she's casting, she's rubbing her fingers together, like either Drake's cloak or her hair or her own clothes or just her hands. Detect Evil and Good is the fringe of her shirt. So she's muttering and rubbing her hands.
Okay. As your choreography completes itself, Lenore, you feel the dark tendrils of the night itself, as is often the way with your magic, seem to reach inward like inviting hands, touch the fringes of your awareness. Lenore's hair moves just slightly with the wind that isn't there.
Hello, Doc.
And those orbs whisper something in your ear.
I like.
Plural whispers, faint at first, strange language, but then the spell does its work and it resolves itself. All of you practitioners of the arts you are know a few things about Aeorn's cosmos, its larger scale. At the very least, you know about it through the local rituals and practices that you have done. What is before you is a celestial. But you also know this is the sort of translation of Dungeons and Dragons game mechanics into our world. The line between a celestial and a fiend, it's a subjective one. It is one more of impression than of kind. So, the signature of this is certainly of some kind of celestial entity. And there are creatures out there called fiend that you might call fiends. Yeah. Some people might call them devils. There are creatures out there that some might call angels and those related to them. But those of you who truck with such spirits, as some of you do, including you, Lenore, you know, sometimes you have to wait and see. Right? But this entity is celestial. It is from the plane beyond, where spirits are left behind and only souls do go. That is what is there in front of you now.
Drake, it's there, Drake, in the light. It's there. There's a it's in the light. It's from the celestials, but it might be a good one. It might be a bad one. It's in the light, Drake.
Drake, you're still right up next to the orbs, I take it. Attempting to grab them?
Yep.
You reach up attempting to grab where detect magic is still allowing you to see that glowing center of one of the orbs. Your hand passes through it, but when it does pass through, there is resistance. Like the air is suddenly denser, like moving your hand through thick honey. And that's when you notice your feet are wet. The ground beneath Drake has begun to darken, which you can make out in the gleam of these glowing spheres. Water is beginning to seep up through the ground. You are just the soles of your boots, and then it is rising over the tops of your boots, and then a little higher, roiling slightly, moving, in fact, from one direction to the other, the slightest of currents.
The nose almost drowning.
The bubbly water, Drake. It's the bubbly water. The pretty lady said the bubbly water.
Drake puts his hand in the water, like tries to cup some of the water, and then throw it at an orb.
Throw it at an orb.
Yeah.
All right. Drake, when you do this, the orb you throw it at, do you have one in particular you want to throw it at?
The prettiest one.
What color you like best? Red, blue, or yellow?
Let's throw it at blue.
Okay. You cup this water bubbling into your hands. It is cold. It is so cold. It is bone-chillingly cold, sending a chill up your spine and down to the tips of your toes instantly upon touching it. You fling it upward. All of you see the water makes contact with this blue orb. The light of that blue orb practically explodes outwards with vibrance and brilliance. It shines so brightly.
Opposite of what I wanted.
all of you are momentarily, if you're looking that way, I would say for probably a few seconds, actually blinded, unless you happen to be looking away, in which case your vision will sort of blink back to normal after a little bit. And that blue orb begins to hum loudly. It remains, as it were, somewhat brighter than the other two, as though enriched by that substance. The orbs all drift lower. They're much closer to your head now.
My head?
Yeah, you're down there right kind of below them. The water is tumbling up through the ground right in that spot beneath the three orbs, which are now spinning a little faster.
Where's Maggie in all this?
Maggie is with you. And then with that expansion of that blue light, she takes off again, winging about in a circle, warily looking at that blue light and thinking into your mind, Drake, I like this not.
Me neither, Maggie.
I'm going to collect some water too.
Okay.
And so there's around us, there's like sticks coming out of the ground. Is that correct?
There are indeed.
So I'm going to take some of the water and pour it on that.
Onto one of the sticks sticking out of the water, or out of the ground, sorry.
Or onto the ground where the stick's coming from.
Nice.
Anoint the fallen, Churl. Anoint the fallen with the bubbly water.
Churl, when you do this, cupping your hands and letting that water freezing in your hands, colder than any water you have ever touched. And you've spent some time in water. You drop it onto one of these. What you see when you get closer is indeed the haft of a spear sticking out of the ground. You let that water drop onto the ground next to the spear, onto the spear itself where they meet the ground. Steam begins to rise off of that spot. And pale blue fire erupts from the spot on the ground where the water drops. And suddenly the shaft of that spear goes up in a blue flame. But there's no heat. If you reach out your hand, Churl, The fire is cold. It does not burn you.
Mm.
The spear begins to lowly hum, and then that hum resolves itself. All of you eventually will be able to hear it, but Churl, you hear it first. Sound of a heartbeat.
Raise the past, Joe, raise the past. And Lenore's delighted, and she'll like scoop up water and like start putting it on others. Raise the past, Joe, raise the past. And
Lenore, you're going to run to other of the spheres and anoint them.
yep, and she's like skipping.
Each one of these, the same will happen. Pale, cold blue fire around the circle until the entire circle is bathed in this ethereal blue light from two directions, in fact, as that blue orb in the center is brighter than the others. Where they begin to mesh, you can see those violets from where it meets the red, as well as some faint, sickly greens where the yellow and the blue do meet, and just a deeper, purer blue where those overlaps do happen.
Look, Drake, raise the past, Drake. It's like skipping around, really excited.
So unsettling.
Yeah, she's creepy.
You would have thought that's what it would take to make Lenore happy.
Yeah.
Coming back to life.
Like,
Are there
listen to some
are there
power.
like skeletons? Is that what's buried? Are they like
Ziggy,
falling?
make I would say either a religion or arcana check. One of
Ooh, let's
those
do
appeals to
Arcana.
you.
Just do both. Dig.
Yeah, let's just
Hedge our
on
bets.
fire, right? No.
13 is enough. Ziggy, this is an old custom. It's not necessarily even that much in fashion, especially around more populated areas like where you would like to have a platform, for example. But sometimes out here in the sticks, you'll see that there's an old superstition that some people still hold to. When a person is cursed or in some way undesirable, perhaps they committed a terrible crime, perhaps they were struck by some strange plague that couldn't be explained by medicine. Some reason, circumstances surrounding their death were dire, dark, unfortunate. Such people are occasionally buried at a crossroads, an unhallowed grave without blessing. And for particular examples of this kind, spear or shaft or stake of wood is placed through the earth itself into their hearts. The stories go, it is to keep them from rising again.
Fun fact, the detect evil and good also similarly tells me if the area around me is magically consecrated or desecrated.
Ah, that is an interesting detail we forgot to discuss. Lenore, the ground around this crossroads is absolutely desecrated.
Yep, she loves it.
She loves it.
Raise the
Ziggy-
past. She walk
Ziggy's
up
like,
to Joel and just pat him and go, "Thank you, Joel," and pat him. Sorry.
Ziggy's muttering to herself, I'll show Maggie who doesn't have followers. And she's going to go and use Animate Dead on one of the spear things with the dead person underground.
Okay, you can cast your spell. This is a 3rd level spell. Mark your spell slot. Animate Dead allows you to revive one corpse or set of bones or other such charnel material.
We can make dead friends.
What does it look like when Ziggy casts Animate Dead? This is one of the more powerful spells Ziggy knows.
she lays on the ground on top of the grave, and she does like a breaststroke. She's like, oh.
Does a breaststroke.
Oh my god.
Spitting on the ground.
And then she just lays there with her ear. She's like, it's coming. And she steps
And
off.
you lying there on the ground, Ziggy, you know your spell worked. You can feel that magic move from your body, your own heart, beating outward into the soil. The soil jumps against your chest. That blue, fiery spear. You can hear the heart. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. A hand breaches the surface of the soil next to you, Ziggy. Bones cracked and decayed. It claws at the empty air. Scrabbles at the ground. The second one on the other side of the spear breaches the surface. Straining upward. Then falling back down. Scrabbling, clawing at the earth, digging, almost in breaststrokes like your spell, pushing dirt from around itself. It is trapped, Ziggy.
Oh, I'll help it.
It can't get up. What are you going to do?
Hillary. Hillary's a ferret.
Yes.
Hillary and I are going to dig this new follower out.
Oh. Very well then. Hillary sort of like scurries around your body like a belt, and then scurries down your leg, and then kind of undulating like an inverted, like an N, sort of scutters around, flipping dirt to the side, to the side, to the side. And the more dirt you move side to side, the more of this spear's haft you unveil, and the fire bursts forth from it, till you find the bony rib cage. This is an old corpse. So much of it decayed. No real flesh or blood remaining, just sort of raw, leathery scraps. And yet, a sound like a heartbeat. Once you get to that vacant rib cage, you can see the spear is holding it there, piercing through two of them, pinning it to the earth. The earth by its face has now moved enough that you can see its jaw is half broken and dangling side to side. A choked voice is coming, partially obscured by muck and dirt. It is trying to move to follow your commands. It just can't.
It's okay, friend. I don't care what you look like, because a like is a like and a follow is a follow. And with that, she pulls the spear out of its rib cage and sets it free.
A follow is a follow, and you have a follower.
I have a follower.
Ziggy, you pull this spear, which is freezing cold in your hands, and as you wrench it from the rib cage of this skeleton, it begins to scrabble its way to a sitting and then a standing position. Standing, swaying, looking at you, holding that flaming spear in your hand. It awaits your command.
Okay, skeleton. First things first, I want you to go over to Maggie and I want you to say to her, here's company, free the crowd, and now Ziggy has a crowd, so.
What's that for, Drake?
That's Maggie's initiative.
That's fine. Ziggy's zombie. Okay. The thing about this kind of creature, the whole speech thing is going to be a bit complicated for it. But it's going to give it a go.
Yeah.
Going to give it a real red hot go. This shambling corpse begins to stutter step and drag its broken feet across the dirt towards where you're standing, Drake, and where Maggie has come back once again to land on your shoulder. It seems to have understood your command, but as it goes up in this kind of horrible lurching fashion, stops right in front of you, Drake, and the smell is overpowering. It is very malodorous.
Is Drake still standing in the water?
Are you, Drake?
Yeah.
Okay. It goes to stand nearby and then looks up at Maggie. And Maggie's thoughts in your mind immediately, Drake, are just like, what is happening, Drake? What is... And then the half distended jaw goes, and it sort of vibrates on that last syllable before it stutter steps forward, and one of its bony feet plop into the water.
Anoint the fallen bubbly water, Drake. And Lenore will scoop the water on her hands, and then she'll just reach up and pat the skeleton on his face. Anoint the fallen.
You have to reach up on your tippy toes to do that, Lenore. And you just get that hanging jaw at the tips of your fingers. You're able to grab it.
That's the one part I wouldn't touch.
Yeah.
Hello,
you're
dead
not
friend.
Lenore. Lenore, you touch the water in your palms up to that mandible. For a moment, your hands are stuck, as though adhered by liquid cement. And then you get wrenched and free, your skin raw from where it made connection. And the place where the water touched, strangely more vital than it was before. Not just bone, but somewhat enfleshed, kind of red bit of tissue where exactly your fingers were.
Does Drake see this?
You definitely, it's happening right in front of you. And
Drake reaches down and looks for the foot.
You do, and there you see in the water a similar phenomenon taking place. Its feet are beginning to become lively. Veins and nerves seem to be slowly sprouting as other tissues and ligaments and tendons are beginning to form from the inside out.
Lenore, we're doing good. I'm going to pull out the other spears one by one.
Okay.
Raise
Churl. So Churl, you go to pull a spear. And is anyone else going to pull spears?
Now Lenore's like giggling and splashing the water up onto this one. Raise what's past, and like trying to get him as wet as possible.
Okay. As Churl, you go and pull that next sphere, there is suddenly a break in the silence around your circle.
Excuse me.
Whispers
Good
from the front, the back, and the side, escalating in volume. And then the sky around you all erupts into a dramatic, splashing display of brilliant, vibrant color. I'm going to need all of you to roll for initiative.
Yes! Fuck yeah, it's been so long.
It has. It has.
Oh, can I just use the one that I did last?
Man.
7 for Churl.
Can I just use the one that I used against?
You sure can, but you had the drop on that zombie if it was going to fight. Maggie.
So do I get an opportunity?
Who's that? Lenore with 20.
20.
Jane on the spot. And what was Ziggy's initiative roll?
14.
14. Okay, great. It is 5 to 9.
I was going to say, can we go to the bathroom
for us to take a little bit of a break? So, with those initiative numbers rolled, it is time for us to take a little bit of a quick break. So, folks watching, get up, stretch your legs, make yourself a tea, and we shall return in 15 minutes at 9:10 for a little more spooky Shakespearean D&D. See you shortly. Welcome back, gentles all, to our second very witchy one-shot. Fair was foul, now foul is fair. And we have rolled for initiative by the transitive property. It must be. Or is it the identity property? For a long time. It's middle school geometry for me.
I'll never own
best.
property, so.
Hey.
That was last for you, right?
Before you now, those of you on Rollcast, you can click through to the map view. You should be able to see what you can see. Those of you on the stream can already see it. There are the crossroads in the misty eve. You are surrounded. You are surrounded by those spears, and you can see next to Ziggy there is our first follower that you are able to move around Ziggy or command on your turn to do things. They will take an action when you do. Your corpse and Churl, you are in the process of freeing a second one, pulling up that that spear. And the one that I've marked there next to your sort of mini or icon is digging itself up from the ground on this round of initiative. Okay. But it will be out and about shortly. However, I did tell you that the sky above you was bursting into brilliant colors of light, and that indeed is what is taking place. I need all of you to make wisdom saving throws, please.
Oy, oy, oy.
Already.
Indeed.
Bum, 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 bum. Tell me what you gonna do. Those at home, that's Crossroads by
That's good.
Both and Harmony.
Well done, Lolo.
21 for Lenore, that is a success.
Ugh.
9 for Drake, that is a fail.
Oh no, smart but not wise.
Not today. 21 for Ziggy, that is a success.
Yes.
Oh no.
Okay, Churl 11, that's a fail. So who are my two successes there? Lenore and Ziggy?
Ladies. Yeah.
Not Drake. Lenore and Ziggy. Now, this is where it gets fun. I'd like all of you to make saves for your familiars as well.
Same stat.
So I believe your familiars, if you don't have it directly in front of you, just give them a +1.
Okay.
But if you have the stats of your raven or cat or whatever in front of you, add whatever it is they would have for their wisdom. It might be a +2 in case of some of them. 15 for Hillary is a success.
Oh, yeah.
Drake, 19. Maggie succeeds.
Damn.
You pick enemies real quick.
Yeah.
Churl, likewise, Hare succeeds.
Not nevermore.
Nevermore. Yes. Nevermore.
I don't wish them harm, but I really don't like magpies.
Yeah.
They know too much. Okay, so then the light bursts from somewhere in the air in front of you, and most of you, for a moment, are too dazzled to even take in what is happening. Those of you who failed, you feel this light as it tinges your eyes and almost burns. Everything suddenly on your retina has these blurred echoes and images, and it's hard to get your bearings of where you are. But you feel that same sort of scorch move throughout your entire body, and your muscles tense. You cannot move. Those of you who failed, including the familiars who failed, you have the stunned condition for the moment. You are unable to move or take actions on this turn. So that means, who is it who is able to move around? That's Ziggy and Lenore.
Yeah.
You will be the first to notice. For whatever reason, you seemed able to steel yourself against this effect. Perhaps you happened to shield your eyes at just the right time so that you didn't take the brunt of this strange flashing miasma of color that pierced the night. As a result, you would probably be the first to spy that there is someone in your midst who was not apparently there before. A figure wearing a vibrant red robe that is only just now becoming red. It seems to have been the source of this light that filled the night. And there are many, many sort of bands of color and blobs of different brilliant shades absolving and resolving themselves back into that deep ruby red as this hooded figure becomes visible. And the figure marks Lenore and Ziggy, that the two of you seem to have command of your faculties. However, Lenore, with a 20, you are first in our initiative order, and you are able to take your action, although you notice that Nevermore is ramrod stiff, standing on your head or on your person as normally, and just quivering, unable to move. Lenore, what are you going to do?
Well, I was throwing water over the
That's right.
Ziggy zombie friend.
So you might have been
where the red light.
Yeah, roundabouts, either directly under the red light or next to it. Up to you where you think Lenore would have been. I've just shifted you. So what would you like to do from there?
Cast mage armor on myself.
Okay,
oh, sure.
You're actually right next to that figure there. In fact, now that I realize I put you there, yeah, you cast when you cast mage armor, your armor class becomes 13 plus your dexterity, whatever that is. Okay. You cast your spell, and you can feel this sort of wave of darkness shimmer over you, holding in place like clothing before it kind of dissipates to invisibility, but you are so armored. Do you have any movement or bonus actions you'd like to use?
I don't happen to suppose I could have been under the red light, because if I move now, they're going to get me.
You're right. We'll say that you're directly under that red light.
Because then, yeah, I will move down 1 and across 2 so that I'm completing that square of Drake and Ziggy. Yeah. Down 1 and east 2.
Okay, I'm just going to move that light so I can move your token and move the light back. In case it isn't clear from the faintness, the yellow light is in the center above the teeming water that is coming through there. So that is what you can see behind there, that darker blue. Okay, so you have used your action to cast mage armor. You have moved. You have any bonus actions you want to use, or is that your turn, Lenore?
Too much light, Drake. Too much light.
That brings us to our interlopers. Now, the figure who sort of started all of this is going to stay there and look at you, just shake its head slowly, and then begin a deep, guttural hum. And this hum is oddly resonant. It hits the air with more than natural vibrance, and you can feel the air shift as though to accommodate for it. Those of you who are stunned, it kind of moves you slightly as it passes. And then you hear a second sound, slightly of a higher pitch. Perfect third above it, in fact. As another figure emerges from the shadows in the back, fading into visibility, it seems. A figure in solid blue robes, beginning that hum. And then likewise, from the other side, a figure emerges in solid, brilliant yellow. All of them almost completely obscured by these cloaks, their faces not visible, as it seems that they have, in addition to kind of the hoods pulled low, a kind of veil dropped down in front of them. Those of you who are close enough and stunned can see that the veils are moving slightly, as though with each breath. The person in yellow takes a higher pitch, and the three of them together resolve into a chord, a kind of haunting blending of sound. And as they do so, the lights in front of you begin to brighten and move and revolve around each other in faster speeds. They dip close to the water itself, taking some of its spray and glittering with brightness. The blue orb takes on this kind of brilliance, a brighter aspect for a moment, and then light shoots forward from it. And that light hits one of the corpses in the ground. It is the corpse that is attempting to extricate itself from the dirt that you have just freed, Churl. That corpse pauses for a moment, and then a blue light suffuses all of its bones. It has a little bit more meat on them, a little more recent, it seems. It then picks itself up, looks at you with empty eye sockets, Churl, and then it is going to take a swing at you.
Cool.
Seeming to have been possessed or taken control of by this blue light. Let's go ahead and make a attack. It's a zombie.
Zombie.
Okay.
The 20. It's going to hit. Okay.
Ah, man.
Ah, man, indeed. Perhaps surprisingly, as you were the one who just freed it, you are taken off guard, and the creature slashes outward with one of its mangled, bony hands, and then crashes those bones into the flesh of your legs and just wrenches across, doing you 4 points of bludgeoning damage. The red orb is going to respond by spraying out a sort of beam of brilliant ruby red light, targeting one of the other patches of ground. That which is closest, in fact, to the figure in red. Going to that there. Hope that turns up visible in just a sec. Yep, see the red circle there? So that patch of ground is suddenly flared with light, and the pale blue fire on that particular spear glows red instead. And now hands are bursting forward from that ground and scrabbling for the haft of that spear. The yellow light likewise flares and blasts a beam of light over straight at one of the other blue glowing spheres. We'll mark it on the map. The one right here next to you, Ziggy. And that should show up shortly. Is now gleaming yellow instead of red. Having done so, the three who are humming keep their hums going, seeming to be engaging in that kind of circular breathing that wind instrument players indulge in. The tone is going very long and without abating, and they are moving their hands up and down, up and down in a kind of perfect synchrony. Okay, that is going to be their turns.
Can I? This might be too late to say this, but can I use my reaction to use counterspell on one of them?
All right. What thing exactly are you trying to counterspell?
Well, if he's trying to raise another dead zombie where that yellow circle is, countering that.
So, Ziggy, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt on this one, in that, especially since you have just been counterspelled yourself, because that was what occurred when you tried to cast your darkness spell earlier. A few things have to be true for counterspell to work. One of which is that you have to be trying to dispel a spell effect, and another is that you have to cast it on a creature who you can see casting that whatever that spell is, and you can tell reaching out and feeling whatever it is these things are. They are not casting a spell. This is just something they are doing, as though ordering it to be so.
Okay, all right.
So you can save that spell slot.
Okay. All right, okay.
That will be their actions, but it is your turn now, Ziggy, and you are not stunned. So what would you like to do on your turn?
I am going to cast Inflict Wounds
All
on
right.
the red raven over there. Red guy.
Okay. Now, Inflict Wounds is a touch spell, if I'm not mistaken. Am I wrong about that?
Touch
You
him?
can check it. You can check it out. Yeah, you would have to walk over there and touch him, which I believe means it's a spell attack. I'll just double check that. Yeah, it's a melee spell attack on a creature you can reach. So if you want to use your movement, you can wander on over there. That's easily within range. You just have to go 5 feet.
Can Hillary do it for me?
Yeah, Hillary can, because it is a touch spell. So Hillary, the ferret, can scrabble down off your shoulders and bravely scrabble on over towards this this red mage or cultist or whoever it is, and attempt to lunge and get a touch. Make your spell attack using your spell attack roll.
Cool.
So I believe that is the D20 plus 7 for you, Ziggy.
Yeah. Come on, 20, please. 20.
Would be,
No!
quite the opposite. In fact,
Hillary!
Hillary, alas, and alack.
I totally that's not what I want to do.
Start wishing for ones.
I bet.
Start wishing for ones.
I bet. Okay, Hillary runs forward, and eyes gleaming dark with the kind of necrotic energy of this spell. She becomes ephemeral herself for a moment, reaching out with both paws to touch, and she face plants, skids through the dirt past him, as with a sort of strange grace, without even looking down. The person in red just sidesteps, lifting a foot slightly, and then moves back, keeping their hum going. The orbs glow ever brighter in apparent harmony with whatever is happening around them, drawing closer down towards the water. Do you have any bonus actions or other movement you would like to use?
Does the cantrip count as a bonus action?
A cantrip is an action. So you have used your action to get your familiar Hillary to cast a spell. Yeah, you can't use one of your jinxes because you didn't land that spell. But if you have any bonus actions that are not a spell, or any cantrips that are a bonus action, which I think are quite rare or non-existent for this reason, pretty much.
What about my feet?
Which
No,
feature
never
is
mind.
that? No? Okay.
I just want to become invisible, but I don't think it's a bonus action.
No, I believe that would be an action. There are some features that I think might allow you to do that, but I don't think that's one.
That's it for me.
All right. I think it's Furbolgs who can get that. Is that right, John Mark? I can't remember if that's how Podrick does it. Yeah, I think it's a bonus action for Podrick. Okay, that is Ziggy's turn, and if I'm not mistaken, that means it would be Drake, but Drake is stunned. However, Hare is not, if I'm remembering correctly, which means Churl, you are stuck. But if you would like, Ryan, you can decide that Hare would get up to something, whatever that might be.
Yeah.
And Maggie?
Let's see.
Is Maggie
Drake, Drake is. Oh, sorry. I skipped ahead to Churl. Maggie is, in fact, you're right, able to act.
Okay.
Drake is not.
Yes.
But Drake, you are stunned. The same is true of both Drake and Churl right now. They're both stunned. Both of their familiars are not.
Yeah.
So let's start with Maggie. John Mark, what do you think Maggie would do, noting that you, Drake, are stunned? You can sort of have her do something for you. You're mentally still with it. You yourself are unable to take action.
What can she do? Is there a way to get out of stun?
Nope, you failed the save, so you are stuck for the time being. You are stunned. However, Maggie is not. So
There's some things that familiars can do. I don't have a familiar sheet.
well, just like Hillary just then was able to cast a spell with a range of touch on behalf of Ziggy.
Okay.
Maggie can do that for you likewise, or Maggie can just move around and position herself somewhere or do something. She can take actions of various kinds, like even the dodge action or something like that. Whatever you would like her to do.
She can't really carry anything, can she?
Very small things.
What I would love her to try is to grab some water and throw it on one of the people.
Okay, interesting. With her talons.
Yeah, with her talents. That's my issue.
Okay.
You can just like splash herself.
Yeah,
in the water.
I was like,
Bird
she,
bat style.
yeah,
Yeah.
could she splash? Could she splash some water onto one of the probably the blue one because I think it's the closest to the pool.
Yes, that is technically true. Yeah, just slightly the closest. Okay. Well, Maggie, feeling this mental command from you, I'm glad you're still mostly there. Is going to hop off your shoulder and wing away downward below the water or below the yellow light and just land or just like dip slightly in there. And you can hear her a screech out loud, and in your mind, oh, Reaper's eye, that is cold. And she just like, oh, and then like has to actually use some extra movement to sort of deal with that. Luckily, she doesn't have that far to go. She gets up drenched and like hop skipping along the ground, flying slightly. She then careens over into the space of this blue mage. I'm going to have you make it like basically a spell attack roll. So use your spell casting stat, which I believe is a d20 plus 7 for you, Greg, unless I'm mistaken. We're going to treat it as though that's what he's getting up to. Woo! Hey, looked a bit rough there for a second.
Yeah.
What a journey. 24. Maggie did not get noticed at all. Whatever this blue garbed figure was doing, they are totally enraptured with it. Not a care in the world, it seems. And they have no regard for a little bird that is winging below eye line and stumbling towards them. Maggie picks up steam, lifts off, and then just flies full bore straight into this person who is suddenly and breaks the hum, the preternatural hum that is coming from the figure's chest with that and then begins batting at this bird and like putting up around its head and moving around trying to deal with this thing. It's in its hair. And in the process, the area of the cloak on this creature that Maggie has just kind of flown into sizzles and begins to steam everywhere. And there is a scream from inside the cloak as Maggie flops off and then is able to sort of flounce away slightly using what's left for movement. Your occult familiars do not provoke opportunity attacks if the creature.
Ooh.
So no swings. No swings taken at Maggie the Magpie. The blue dress figure begins batting at their chest, and the places where the water has touched these robes are now like vibrant and changing colors differently, dull and then bright and dull and bright and green and yellow and red and blue, but on a kind of spin cycle of color. No longer a chord, but a simple two-tone sound. And the orbs stop spinning at the level that they are above the water. Bits of the roiling surface of that water splashing up and hissing against the orbs where they are, and steam arising from them. But for the moment, it seems whatever effect they were mutually creating has subsided. And the blue dress figure looks up and newfound attention drops on Maggie and then over at you. That is Maggie's turn. Churl, you are stunned, but your familiar is not. What would you like for Hare to get up to?
So I'd like Hare to bite red cloak's face.
Okay. Do you have Hare's real stats in front of you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'd like for you to roll for a bite attack from Hare. Hare is right there with my badger token that I had to use because
Oh, you're joking.
I really thought that was going to be another one. Classic. A 7. Hare seems to stumble a bit coming out of the hidden compartment where Hare was hiding, scrabbling forward, leaps, and then scrabbles at this cloak, attempting to go for the face. Again, hanging slightly too long in the air when hair is jumping. So levitating slightly, thudding into it, digging claws and big rabbit buck teeth into the fabric of this cloak, but unable to make a purchase onto skin and to reach the face around that veil. And it seems as well, the red figure, though definitely disturbed physically by this large oversized hair that slammed into them, maintains their resonant hum as hair stumbles to the ground next to them. Would you like hair to use any movement?
Yeah. Can I get them to come, basically be adjacent to Nevermore, please?
Yes, you
On the
may.
left
Nevermore's actually over on my head, but yeah.
Yeah, I forgot to move Nevermore. But where is it you would just like?
Oh, well, just in front of Churl then, where Nevermore is.
I got you. I should move Nevermore then. That will help my brain. Where is Lenore? Nevermore. There we go. Okay. Mischief managed on that front, which will bring us back to the top of the round with Lenore. You are free to act, and now so is Nevermore.
Knew you were going to say that, but what do I do?
Initiatives.
Yeah, there's just quite a lot of options with knowing too many spells.
Only one I know that you've got.
I will attempt to bane them.
All right, there are three of them.
Attempt to bang them.
I like you said bang too.
Much less fun. Much less fun is Bane. Okay, so they all need to make saves against your DC, which I believe might be a 15. Am I right about that? Or is it a 14?
14.
Okay, so then is that Charisma or Wisdom save?
Charisma.
Charisma. All right.
Hope they're real and charismatic.
Open, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So here is Red's save. That is a fail.
Okay.
Red, you are baned. With the magic stinky sign next to you. Okay, Blue's turn. That is a success. Blue is okay, unbaned. And now Yeller's turn.
Oh,
It is likewise a success. So Red is baned. That means that any attacks or saving throws, Red will have to roll a d4 and subtract the total from whatever the result is. And those of you who are with, those of you watching, you know this spell. You know the go. You can sort of see what's happening around you. The figure in red still keeping their work, but you can see the arms sag slightly as though under weight, weariness. They are definitely being affected by this. The other two seem to be as they were before. Any movement or bonus actions from Lenore?
Can I jinx Red because I hit him?
You certainly can. This is a feature of the witch class. You have 2 jinxes. So as a bonus action when you hit them with a spell,
Yes.
which jinx would you like to invoke?
It is called Misfortune. So the next attack they make will be at disadvantage.
Very nice. So not only are they baned, they have disadvantage. What looks like misfortune? What's a good sign for that? I'm going to put this little icon of someone bending over with an ouchie. Okay.
Looks like Red just spotted.
Red is having a time. Red is having a time.
And then I'll just drop down on my hands and knees where Nevermore is and start digging in the ground and going up, 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 dead friend. Up, 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 dead friends. And
Okay.
start digging them up.
So you're going to the spar that is next to Nevermore, to the bottom right of Nevermore?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just scooch Nevermore over.
Up,
You
up,
can go
up.
down there.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've used your action to bane, but you're getting down to start doing that. That is kind of like what you're spending your time doing. Okay. That is
Nevermore.
Lenore's turn. Sorry?
Does Nevermore get a go?
Nevermore is able to act on your initiative. You can command Nevermore to do something if you like. Nevermore doesn't have spells or anything like that because you've used your action to do that. But if you want to tell Nevermore to go somewhere or something like that.
Is he not stunned?
Nevermore is no longer stunned.
Okay. Then I'll just get him to. I'll just say, copy Maggie, Nevermore. Copy Maggie. Hit the water. Hit the bubbly water on the bad people.
Okay. Nevermore is going to fly over. That is, Nevermore was with you. So it's not less movement. 5, 10, 15 feet to get to the water. And who's in range? Blue. Blue is in range. And yellow is technically in range. Okay.
Well, if Maggie's attacking the blue one, I'll get him to come back to the yellow one.
Okay. Nevermore is going to come streaming out of that water towards the yellow. That is going to be Nevermore's full movement. So Nevermore's going to have to stop after whatever happens. So have Nevermore make a basically spell attack.
Nevermore. Oh, I missed.
Oh, rough. Okay. Nevermore, likewise, you hear a whoa as it dips into that freezing cold water and comes zooming straight towards the figure in yellow. But water, wings are so heavy. And he comes flopping at a streaming angle and misjudges and then just skids into the dirt, slides alongside, and ends up on the ground next to you, between the two of you. And then the figure in yellow, keeping that hum going, turns and looks down at you, Lenore. Next to you, from the other side, let's see. A few things happen. One, the person in red leans over and yanks this spear out. And as a result, where are you hiding, zombie friend?
I want to say that musical or that sitcom.
Yeah. Up from the earth comes that creature.
He's got an axe and all.
Yes, indeed. Nasty looking critter. And then likewise, the creature in yellow robes is going to use their movement to walk over next to you, Lenore, and remove the spear from the ground, freeing another of these nasties. And each of those is going to get to moving. The hum from both of them continues. And the blue, the person in blue, resumes their old hum. The orbs in the center reignite with their earlier brilliance and begin to spin, lowering even closer, almost kissing the water's surface. A loud hiss is coming from where they rest as more and more of the spray touches them, making their cores vibrate even brighter with brilliant light. Now, where were we? These two that have just been liberated are going to advance on those of you who are close. I did actually forget as well. No, I didn't. That's next turn. Jokes. We'll get to that. I was thinking, Ziggy, that you hadn't gotten to use your zombie buddy, but it's your turn next. So, my bad. This one's going to take a swing at you, though, Ziggy.
Yeah.
And this one's going to take a swing at you, Lenore. This is for Ziggy. That is going to be a hit.
I think Matt
This-
Day hates us.
Surely that's it. This
Well, I
is
know
going to
that
be
he
for
doesn't hate
Lenore.
me.
That is a
Oh.
natural 20.
But-
Speaks too soon. Okay, so that is going to be
Lenore.
double damage, whatever it is for Lenore. But first, let's roll for Ziggy.
It's basically you hitting a little girl, Adam.
Yeah, that's what's happening. Little girl who was dancing amongst rising zombies
Yeah.
here in the night air. I'm less than inclined to feel terrible for Lenore. Okay, Ziggy gets off easy with only 2 points of bludgeoning damage. Very easy. Lenore. Not too bad as well. 5 points of bludgeoning damage as this creature comes for you. As they are closer again to the water, these glowing orbs send out motes of light. Red here, a yellow here, and then the blue now back in action over here. Put that where you can see it. The ground is now gleaming with different color, and those stakes are no longer glowing with their pale blue fire of before. But now red, yellow, and blue, and hands are beginning to stick up to the dirt from where those lights have stricken. However, we are now on to Ziggy, then Drake, then Churl. All of you are no longer stunned. You and your familiars can move as normal. So, Ziggy, what are you and Hillary up to?
Well, I'm going to cast Deafen on all 3 bad boys.
Okay. Is that a 3-target
Very
spell, or
good.
is that an
We're
area
going
for
to
that
hold a
spell?
tune.
So level 3, so I'm casting it at a level 3, and it is as long as I can see them.
This is the blindness deafness spell. Yes, you're
Yeah.
upcasting it. Yes, you can target an additional creature. Okay, and they're all within your range, so they all need to make a save.
Mhm.
Do Constitution save. Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Well, here we go. And red is baned, so it's going to have a D4 taken away. So let's roll the save for red. That is a 14. Your save is a 15. Is that right, Ziggy? You look
Yeah,
on your,
my save is
okay.
15.
So don't need to even roll the D4. Red has failed and is now deafened. I need to pick another little effect. So much bling on the red. Which one's gonna look like deafened? That one. Where are my ears? It should appear on the screen now, or at least in a second. Okay, red is deafened. Let me make the save for a yellow and then blue. 15 is the number to beat for yellow, and fail. Yellow is now deafened. And then blue is a success. So blue manages to keep their hearing, but red and yellow cannot hear any longer. And
it's only going
strangely
out of
enough,
tune?
yeah, after a few seconds, they're keeping this resonance going. But a waver starts to enter as red, the arms already dropping a bit from apparent fatigue. Something is just taking it out of this person. Their body language is changing. They're attempting to move and feel and put their hands on their chest. It's not working. There's a quaver in the voice, and that constant preternatural tone breaks, and it is moving all over the place now, wavering in and out of pitch, and it is jarring.
Isn't a quaver-
Likewise.
isn't a
Sorry,
quaver- Isn't a quaver a musical note?
I believe it is. Yeah, as opposed to a semiquaver or a hemi-demi semiquaver. Yellow, likewise, is not baned, but like cocks their head to the side and is looking up, trying to figure out what has happened, and is unable to do so. The glowing orbs stop, slightly. As again, the tritone is broken. Blue is continuing, but seeing something happening is also keeping their tone, but looking likewise a little bit concerned. That is Ziggy's turn. You have any movement or bonus actions you wanted to take?
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna like move away from the danger.
Okay, which direction?
Okay, so
Note that you do have a zombie just directly above you who, if you move out of the zombie's area, they might be able to take an opportunity attack at you.
yeah. All right, well then I'll use my reaction to push the zombie 15 feet away.
You can use your bonus action, but you did not affect the zombie with the spell. You can, however, choose to use one of your jinxes on the red or the yellow who were impacted by your deafness spell. You can choose one.
Okay, sure. I'm just gonna like reduce yellow's speed by 20. Oh no, actually, I'm just gonna. Do I have to be within range to push them, don't I?
You don't have to physically shove them. You're doing this with magic. So
15 feet. How far is it between red and that water puddle?
15 feet forward. If you can. See, the thing though is that is it repelling or beguiling that you're using?
Repelling.
Repelling would push the red person away from you. That's in the wording of the jinx itself. So you couldn't pull red towards a space away from you. But yeah, you can push the creature 15 away from you in a straight line. And there's not a restriction on the range for that. You just have to have hit them with a spell. So as long as you hit them with a spell, you can do this. Do you want to shove the red 15 feet back?
Yeah, I'm going to shove him into the tree.
Yeah, that's exactly a straight line from you. It would thud him into that tree. Okay, and there's no save on that. That is just a bonus action with your jinx. Unless I'm very much mistaken. Because they've already failed your save. Very nifty. Cool. So you use your jinx and having deafened them two first, now the red is flung backwards in the air as if smacked in the chest by a cannonball. Just boom, arms and legs forward. And now there is no sound coming from Red's mouth as it collapses in a heap, not having taken damage next to this tree, sort of backed up against it. And now everything about their body language is communicating pure panic. Okay, that is Ziggy's turn. That will take us to Drake and then Churl. What's Drake doing?
Drake is going to cast a third level spell. He's going to cast Slow.
Mm-hmm.
Drake is going to cast Slow on. I can do it for 6 creatures within 40 feet. 40
At third level.
At third level, yeah. So, yeah. So then I obviously cast it on all 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And also, is there only one zombie of theirs?
That is currently up and about. There are 2. The one who swiped at Lenore, and then the one who swiped at Ziggy. But there are three. Actually, I take that back. I made a mistake earlier. Churl, you should be getting another swipe taken at you.
Isn't it?
No.
All right. So all the zombies are against us. All right.
When can I use my zombie?
You have just had your turn. You can do it now. So while Drake is doing what Drake is doing, what will you have your zombie do?
I'm gonna have him like hit the other zombie.
Okay, make a little note in purple. So your zombie is going to turn on this other zombie. It's zombie on zombie fight time. Okay.
Zombie's name is Lily, by the way.
Okay, Lily. Lily's going to take a swing, make a slam attack. How does Lily go? Not great. Natural 1 for Lily. Lily swinging that sword that you see around, and Lily's arm just comes off at the shoulder.
Lily.
Just distends and breaks and cracks downward. And Lily the zombie looks downward, jaw hanging, and looks up. Zombie shoulders slump. That's Lily's move. Okay. And Churl, I did forget earlier, you've got a buddy next to you. Looked too humanoid. Mm-hmm. That was it. That's going to be a miss anyway, as the creature is getting up out of that dirty ground and takes another swing, and it just clanks effectually against your hard tortoise shell. You're still good to go. Drake, you did slow, right?
Yes.
Casting slow.
Yes. And I can hit all of them. It's great. So I guess so. The only decent zombie we've got is Lily. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, I'm going to use slow on 1, 2, 3. One of the zombies gets to miss out. One of the zombies gets to miss out.
Which zombies are getting it?
Let's put it. I guess the one that's going to miss out is the one that's closest to Churl.
Okay. So that one's fine.
Sorry,
The others are slowed.
The others are slowed, yeah. Slowed is so cool. Slowed is so cool.
Slow is a very good spell. And in fact, I'm going to double check something. Let's see what happens. As a reaction, the figure in blue, seeing you casting this spell, Drake, is going to raise a hand and then motion. They're gonna, seeing the jig is up, they're going to drop their hum, and as a reaction, cast counterspell against slow. Now, counterspell, unless I'm much mistaken, affects any spells of 3rd level or lower without a roll. Just gonna double check that I'm right about that.
Why didn't you make us like level 8 then? You knew this was coming.
Yeah, it's crazy how that happens. Yeah, if it's 3rd level or lower, it has no effect. Now, this creature is using their reaction to counterspell slow, which is going to negate that.
Does that mean I still tick off those?
You still burn that spell slot. Unfortunately, that is gone. Ziggy, do you have any 3rd level slots left?
No.
Okay,
Only
never
had
mind then.
2. I
I was going to say that now is a time that what you wanted to do earlier could have happened.
Damn it! No.
Alas, you need those slots. Okay, so there is no slowed effect, unfortunately. So Drake, that is your action. Any movement or bonus actions?
I can't. Nah.
Okay, Churl, you got a zombie in front of you. You got some other gleaming spears around you that are a trouble to come. What's Churl doing?
I'm gonna witch bolt the blue dude.
Okay, that is a spell attack roll, I believe, or is it a save? You have in front of you. Which one is it? An attack?
I think spell attack.
Okay, make your spell attack roll.
On a hit.
And what level are you casting it at first level? Okay,
just one.
Right. That is a hit. Roll your damage. I believe it's a D12.
Yeah. Oh, you.
Oh, such bad luck. Okay,
Curses.
1 point. But that's damage. Every little bit helps.
I'm gonna have Head jump forward too and try and jump on the blue one then.
Okay, so you can use your bonus action to command Hair to do that. You can also use one of your jinxes if you wish instead. It's up to you. Because you did hit them with a spell. So
my jinxes are just beguiling and repelling. So I'm gonna
Hair is gonna come do some dirty work for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Make your bite attack for Hair. See if second time's lucky.
On Hair.
What was it again? 20 plus.
We'll just use your spell modifier. It's either 6 or 7.
Plus 3.
Oh, you got your. That's right. That's right. You have Hair has Hair has their own things going on.
Yeah. It's plus 5.
That sounds more like it.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's okay.
Oh, you.
Also, bad luck on the table.
I love that we have someone to blame as well.
Yeah. Oh, Matt, bless. Our brilliant
Matt.
answer.
I apologize.
Personally, I think it's fine work this evening that the dice have been doing. Personally, I think it's going great. Unfortunate for hair, just again, can't get through this fabric. It's so strange. It's bunched up in the wrong places and it's slick. Can't get a handle.
It only has two
Hair-
teeth as well.
Yeah, and then scrabbling up does seem that the place where the robe has been touched by this water kind of tears away slightly where hair has jumped. And there's kind of an opening there. You can see just a normal kind of jerkin or shirt top underneath. But that is your action and bonus action. Trill, you staying put?
Yeah, I'm staying put, but I'm bringing hair back a step.
Okay, hair is going to do that with no opportunity attack incurred.
Actually, yeah, back to the right hand side of me. Actually.
Okay.
Yeah,
There. All right, that brings us back to the top of the round with Lenore and Nevermore. What are y'all doing?
Just gonna.
I am going to scoot around the yellow one, like staying within range of them, but just so that I'm on the other side.
Yep.
And I will curse them, or attempt to, which means that red's not baned anymore because they're both concentration, so I'll swap.
I see. So Bane is dropped. I had to
But I
remember.
will bestow a curse on the yellow one, or attempt to. Can I have a wisdom,
Okay.
please?
Wisdom save from Yeller.
Please, 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 please.
Here goes wisdom. That is a natural 20.
Regular the rolls tonight.
Is uncursed, unbothered. That is that. Any movement or bonus actions from Lenore?
Yeah, well, I'll just bonus action put all the three of us in the dark.
Though you will, as a
My
bonus
best
action,
work, so she's just gonna go and like pull all the light out.
within a 10-foot radius now
Yeah.
of Lenore. All was already dim, even in the sort of faint glow of those orbs. It is now dark. Seemingly not as affected by that light now that it's far away. Unlike it was when you were right in their immediate presence and you could not darken them with it. Okay, so the zombie, the yellow-clad person, and Lenore and Nevermore all shrouded in darker darkness. Okay, that is going to take us to our buddies.
Or Nevermore.
Or Nevermore. What is Nevermore up to?
Is up to Ravens can beak at melee attack, the yellow one.
Actually, let me double check something. I might have been silly about this just now. Letting y'all get away with something. You know what? No, that is actually okay for this to happen that way. I'm glad I didn't get that wrong. Otherwise, I would have felt very silly. I would thought I was giving your familiar too much to do, but they can do this. Okay, so which person is Nevermore going for?
The yellow one.
The yellow. Okay. So, does your darkness feature say that you and your familiar can see in that darkness?
I definitely can anyway because I
have
can see
dark vision.
magical darkness.
Right.
Even my
but-
dark vision works in magical darkness.
Yeah, that's true because of your coven. But Nevermore, on the other hand, does the feature say it grants Nevermore that same feature? The reason I ask is that Nevermore will have to make this attack a disadvantage because Nevermore doesn't have your eyes.
From the document.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't think that unless it says so that it extends to your familiar. Now Nevermore might have regular dark vision.
Is there anything find familiar about they have their own?
You can use an action to see through their senses and such.
Oh, right,
But, that takes its own thing. Just gonna double check.
Yeah.
Now Yeah, does not say that the raven has dark vision, so you can make the attack, but at disadvantage.
Okay. Well, here's number 1. Come on.
Oh,
Still hit? Well, that would hit if it is the lowest.
Okay. Come on, nevermore. Please hit it. Yes. Ooh.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so you don't get the crit, unfortunately, because of disadvantage, but you still get a hit. So roll Nevermore's beak damage.
Does that mean I can also bonus action jinx it?
No, you've already used your bonus action for the darkness.
Oh, darkness, yeah, true. Could I have? It's just 1. Yes, 1 damage.
Yeah, okay. Hey, every little bit helps. Thus
Question
far,
for
that
next
is the
round.
damage.
Could I have, if I hadn't used my bonus action, like even though I didn't hit them, he did? Do I jinx them for future reference?
That's a good question. If you haven't used your bonus action yet and Nevermore gets a hit, I would say I think it's only for spells, unfortunately.
If we spell hit them.
If Nevermore used a spell, if you used Nevermore to cast one of your spells, then yes, I would say you could have. It's basically the same thing. Really. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, that is Lenorvermore.
Yeah.
Neverlore. So that takes us to our buddies. Blue buddy is going to pull a spear up over here. Yeah. He's doing well. And then red buddy, not liking life at the moment, having a bad day, is deafened, and something else is going on. What was the second code?
Pain. He's like in pain.
Pain?
Stress. You.
No, because there was Bane.
was
That is
Bane?
gone now. Sorry. There's deaf. I had 3 signs on him. I can't
Yeah.
remember what they're for.
You said it's for.
I'm jinxed him. He's got disadvantage.
That's what it is on an attack. Well,
Yeah.
he's not making an attack, but he is going to pull up a spear from over here, shaking himself off, and free a zombie. Zombie. Okay. Now our zombies are gonna make their moves. We got 2 of them on you there, Churl. We got 1 next to Lenore. We've got 1 next to Ziggy. And then blue one is going to not have much movement left, but I think that is just enough to get adjacent to Drake. Okay, lots of zombie attacks. So what we're going to do to speed this up is... Oh, no. Okay, I'm going to make 1 attack roll. That is a natural 20. Now, what I was about to say is I'll make 1 attack roll for everyone. I didn't say that out loud, so it would feel a bit crap if I followed through on that now. that was the result, so I'm not going to do that. However, Churl, you are getting critically hit by 1 of these zombies over here. I'll go ahead and roll the other one. Okay, so you're going to get 3d6. Oh, sorry, that one does not hit. So you're just going to take 2d6 of damage plus.
Oh, I see what's going on.
From the crit. Take 10 points of bludgeoning damage, Churl, as these zombies are beginning to cling alongside you. Smack, smack.
Don't come back.
Yeah. Ziggy, the one above you, is going to take swing. 15, I believe, hits.
Missed.
Oh, is your armor class above 15?
No.
So,
No.
very convincing, though. Take 3 points of bludgeoning damage. Ziggy, Lenore. Lucky duck. That's a miss.
So lucky, Lenore.
Oh, lucky.
I got hit before.
Actually, I should have made it a disadvantage anyway, because you're in the dark, but it's still a miss. So that's that. Who's left? Blue is going for Drake.
Drizzy.
Yeah.
Come on, Blue. Double die.
That's a miss.
That's a
Drake
miss.
is in the clear as Drake sidestep dances away from that particular bit of business. You're good to go. I believe that it's all my zombies haven't taken their swangs. Is that right? Now my 3, who have been very much abused as of late, not enjoying that situation. They're going to reform ranks.
Still deaf.
Yellow.
Yeah.
They are still deft, which is inconvenient. Quite inconvenient for them. Let's see. At the end of each of its turns, the target can make a Constitution saving throw and try to maintain or try to get their hearing back. So they are going to do that. Those 2. It's red and yellow. Blue, on the other hand, is going to cast a spell, not at Lenore, because Lenore can't be seen, at Drake. Blue is going to put out.
It's gonna put out. Woo!
Yeah, going to put out their hands.
That's a different type of platform.
Yeah.
It is. And make a spell attack at you, Drake.
It's the most action Drake's had in a long time.
Ooh, 14. Does that hit you, Drake? I
Yeah.
believe it does. Yeah. Okay. You are going to take. Let's decide what kind of damage.
Minimal is.
Okay. Ooh, that makes sense. It's blue. So the blue creature dressed in blue is gonna put their hands to the side, put them together, and then expand them. And there is a ball of blue light, not quite as large or imposing as the one that's hovering in the middle, but sitting there between, and then just like straight up Kamehameha style, it's gonna fling it outwards at you, Drake, and you are going to take 3d8 cold damage.
Ooh.
As this is Chromatic Orb.
Ooh.
That is 15 points of cold damage for Drake.
Holy moly.
Indeed.
I don't know whether we're gonna win this.
I don't think we're gonna win.
Also,
Yeah,
we're
no,
definitely
why
not
not?
finishing in 15 minutes time.
Well, who knows? Choices await.
Counterspell. Counterspell really ruined us.
Big counterspell's a big deal.
Man, slowly.
It would have been a game changer. Okay. Red
Please,
and
my
yellow.
spell stop making Lily. It was
Red
worth
and
it.
yellow have already. I mean, you are going next, and Lily is right there. Lily, by the way, limping along with one bony foot and one partially enfleshed foot, which has, in the meantime, grown more enfleshed. You can see the foot looking more and more lifelike, pale skin beginning to form over it. That is their turns. Red and yellow are going to try to remake their con saves to get undeaf. Here goes red. That looks like a success. Except red is no longer banged. Never mind. So that's a success. Red is no longer deaf. Yellow. What is your save, Lenore? Is it 14? Or who cast deafen?
15.
15. That is a fail. Yellow, still deaf. Unable to do the thing. Blue and red looking particularly flustered, trying to get back to what they were here to do, and they are realizing yellow is unable to help. But now it is Ziggy's turn. You and Lily standing side by side with her rapidly enfleshing foot. What are y'all going to do?
I don't think that sentence
I'm
is
making it a
ever
thing.
been said.
Okay, so this is my plan. I want to use Misty Step to appear behind Blue, and then I want to use my bonus action to push him into the water.
Okay, so Misty Step is your bonus action, but that's fitting because you would need your action to try to grab Blue and haul him into the water.
Okay.
So I will say you can use your action to try to grapple Blue.
Mhm.
And it's a good thing actually that you're Misty Stepping, because otherwise you probably wouldn't have enough movement. You can move at half speed up to the water to bring someone there with you if you successfully grapple Blue. Now that's going to require you to have an athletics check against Blue's acrobatics or athletics check.
Okay.
Okay. Where is Ziggy?
Are you missing Avery right now?
Avery has also really bad athletics.
Roll for grappling.
If it's a -1, I just subtract that from whatever I roll, right?
Yeah, I don't know if we can put a negative number
Yeah,
here
I
on
don't-
Rollcast, so just roll a d20.
Yeah, you can minus.
Future update.
You can press minus.
12. Okay, so 12 for Ziggy. Let's see.
Oh,
That's an 11. Blue is grappled.
Yes!
You have control of this person. And you are 5 feet from the water. They're 5 feet in front of you. Like you've come in and grabbed. You can then you have all of your movement left because of Misty Step. So even at half speed, which you can do, you drag Blue over into the water. Basically, it's like an about face for you, just twisting around, dropping him in there. As you drop Blue into the water, the cold hiss once more begins, and the cloak on Blue begins to dissolve. And with a full body submersion like that, going to have to roll.
a death saving roll? Is that what you're rolling?
No.
I may have just killed us.
I imagine that.
I was gonna go either way.
Blue just
In one word.
7. Blue is going to take 7 points of damage. As you're holding Blue there, Blue is screaming, and you can see that the cloak is beginning to dissolve around them and the veil, revealing a face, a human face with white, very pale skin and sunken eyes, but very much alive, with a kind of paint in different patterns across their face. 2 lines of blue coming down just inside the eyes and another across the forehead. Appears to be a human woman with all of this, the cloak burning away and dressed in normal kind of commoner's clothes underneath, looking up wide-eyed and in fear, the lights of these orbs reflecting, and something is happening to her in this water. That is your turn, Ziggy. What is Drake and Churl doing? What is Drake doing first?
Drake's gonna what's it called? Drake's gonna chaos bolt something.
Okay, who are you gonna chaos bolt?
I don't know. Let's chaos bolt Blue. Yeah, let's chaos bolt the blue that's in the puddle.
Yep. Okay. Is that a ranged spell attack?
Yeah, it would be.
Okay. So
Is that with
normally
disadvantage if it's right
it would
there?
be, yeah, because they're right there and because they are prone. So
All right.
although technically, actually, I don't think that Ziggy could have gotten them prone. So really, it is just because of the distance. So if you want to take a step back, you're technically risking an attack of opportunity, but Blue's looking pretty preoccupied at the moment.
Yeah, sure. Let's do that. Let's take a step back,
Mhm.
and then use chaos bolt.
Okay, make your spell attack.
What's
Blue apparently chooses not to use their reaction to take a swing.
What's my spell attack? Is there a? Or is
It should be a +7, I believe, for you, Drake,
Yes, you are
on a
right.
d20.
I'm going to try this. I reckon it'll work. yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, that's not a minus. That's a plus. That's 20. But
There you go.
you can type
So the
in
minus
minus.
worked.
You have to type in minus, and then the number.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Good to know. That works. But that is a hit. 20. Roll your damage for Chaos Bolt. I believe it's like 2 different kinds of damage, right? You have to roll.
Yes. So I will roll on a hit. I can take 2d8 plus 1d6 damage.
Okay.
And then I choose one of the d8s. So 2d8s and 1d6. 2 and 1d6. And then I choose the numbers on the d8s, which is either a 6 or a 1. And if it's a 6 or a 1, 6 is poison, 1 is acid. Let's use poison.
Okay.
Damage.
There you go. A little mix and match. They all seem to take effect. That's 8 points of a variety of damages on blue. Okay, blue is looking rough. Blue is not looking good. That is your action. You have bonus action and more movement still, and you did just hit with a spell.
Yeah, that's right. So let's use Witchfire.
Okay, which is going to make blue glow.
Yep, which can make blue glow, which means attacks on it next are at advantage.
Yes, that is true. Okay, so blue glows with a strange purple fire, which we'll keep in mind. Next attack on blue has advantage. Please remind me if I do forget. That takes us to Churl. What's Churl doing?
So I'm gonna step towards the blue guy then.
Okay, that will incur opportunity attacks. Are you going to your right and down one?
Yeah.
Okay, you can do that. So they're going to attempt to swing at you. Both are zombies. It's a miss.
Charlie, you could just sit on blue and drown him.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a huge miss. Okay, none of those zombies get their hits. What are you doing, Cheryl?
I'm gonna cast Primal Savagery.
Hey, gonna get wild.
Yeah, so that just means I can make a melee spell attack against one creature. On a hit, they take 2d10 acid damage.
Yowzers. Okay. Make your melee spell attack. I didn't realize that spell was so good.
Well, yeah, it gets better when you're at level 5.
Yeah, that makes sense. Scale.
You motherfucker.
Oh, no. No.
I will double check on something. Your buddy is well and truly flanked. You do get advantage on that.
Oh, I did have advantage anyway.
Did you? Yeah, you did anyway because of Witchfire. So yeah. Roll again.
We all just thank goodness.
Girl's gonna bust up on this. Hey, look at that. There's your crit.
Yes.
Roll 4 d10s. There it is. There it is.
So 4 d10s.
4 d10s.
Guys dead.
40 10s.
Yeah, sounds that way every time I say it.
Yeah, big 40 10s.
And I don't
Especially
add
with
anything to that, do I?
Consonants.
Do I?
No, I don't believe you add a modifier to this damage unless it says specifically otherwise. There are some features like Warlock's Eldritch Blast and Invocations. That's pretty good. Got a 10 and a 6 and a 5. 22 points of damage for blue. Churl, how wouldst thou like to do this?
Basically, my claws grow at my hands, and I just slash down, cutting him to ribbons and making him part of the little puddle that is below him.
That's just red water.
Churl, the strange claws emerging from your tortoise-like hands just absolutely eviscerate this creature, this woman. They should just tear her apart, and she falls into the water. The last remnants of this cloak having fallen to the side and melting as though by acid away into the ether. And then something else happens. The body grows still As we're already moving forward into the next sort of bit of combat, Churl, sitting there close, you would notice the body moves. The water around the body suddenly grows darker and begins to bubble. Froth like a boiling pot. Inky black tendrils move around inside that once blue water and wrap around this body, which is now convulsing side to side, and then relaxes, and then sits up. Next up is Lenore at the top of the round.
Actually, can I just give a little thing to Hair?
You can, yes.
So I'm going to ask Hair to transform into its true self
Okay.
and fly straight up.
Right. Hair is a hare no longer, but a little winged imp. Hare's true form, which he has been hiding all along. How high up can Hare fly?
Actually, can fly. I don't know, 40 feet.
Okay. Then if Hare wants to, Hare can go 40 feet straight up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's make it 20.
20 feet up for Hare.
Mhm.
Okay. Give me some wings. That's Hare is 20 feet straight up in that position. Okay. Anything? What's Hare getting up to? Just hovering, just hanging
Just hovering for the moment.
for the moment. Okay. Now, Primal Savagery is a spell, right? Actually,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. Actually,
Yeah.
Churl, you can tell looking down at this person who has set up.
Yeah.
Nothing about the way they are comporting themselves is anything like the person you just killed.
Okay.
They are looking around, befuddled, blinking up at you, as though seeing you for the first time.
Kill it.
What's your passive perception,
Good.
Churl, actually?
My passive perception is 12.
12. Okay. Noted.
No. Double dang kangaroo.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, how does it feel to be normal?
That moves us to Lenore at the top of the round. What's Lenore doing?
So probably looking past the yellow, she can see the blue has just sat down in the pond. And she'll just giggle and go, "Anoint the fallen in the bubbly water."
Oh no, I lost you there for a sec. What did you say after bubbly water?
And then I'll toll the dead on the yellow one.
On the yellow one?
Yeah.
All right. Yellow needs to roll a save.
Wisdom.
Is that wisdom?
Come on, please, please, please.
That is a success. So no half damage on Toll the Dead, right? That's just save or no.
Yeah. So then I'll get Nevermore to peck them again.
Okay. Roll for Nevermore. Beaky.
Come on. No.
Alas, I would have you roll at disadvantage because your Beaky boy is at disadvantage for the darngest. Might say Beaky is blindered. Anyway, moving on from that moment, that takes us to our buddies who are looking concerned, looking very concerned. These two. Yellow is still deaf, but is not liking the situation currently. Can hear what's going on, can't hear what's going on out there, but does not like being alone in the dark with this freaky business, and is going to leave your threatened area, Lenore. So if you want to make an opportunity attack, you can.
Yep.
So if you have a dagger or something, you can take a swing. But
Yeah, I've got like stakes, I think metal stakes.
gross. Okay. Have a stab.
Worst.
Alas.
Curse.
2 is the worst for a halfling. Could have been a 1 and you can re-roll it.
Literal worst. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that is the worst. Yeah.
Okay, and yellow's going to move out of the range of the darkness that Drake is just on the edge of, and suddenly realize that Drake is there, and also suddenly realize that their compatriot is sitting bolt upright in the water. And now things have just changed for blue and red. They look at each other. They look at their friend who has fallen, sitting up there. They look up at the orbs. And they begin to run. Red is not close to any of you, so incurs no kind of opportunity attack. Yellow, however, is right next to you, Drake, and right next to Lily, the zombie. So both of you can have opportunity attacks if you want.
Oh, Lily gets to attack. Yeah.
Lily is right next to the person in yellow to attempt to run. So take a swing, Drake. You can as well if you want. If you have a dagger or something.
Yeah, I got
your
a
attack
dagger.
rolls.
Dagger. Attack roll. 4.
That is a hit for Ziggy, or for Lily, if that's who you're rolling for, right?
Yeah.
And that is a hit for Drake. All right, swing away with your daggers. Your D4 plus your dex, whatever your dex is. I think it's probably +1 for both of you.
1d6 plus 1.
That's probably. Are you using a sickle or a dagger, Ziggy?
Bludgeoning.
What weapon are you using?
For Lily?
Oh, right. That's right. I keep thinking it's for everybody. That's the best you could have done. 5 points of damage from Drake to yellow, and then Lily does a d6 plus 1. 4 points. So yellow is taking a total of 10 points and looks unhappy about that, but still on their feet. Yellow is going to sprint. They went 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
10.
Yeah, so then 30 feet gets them because they went in an indirect route as a result of the darkness, which really sort of threw them off. But they're still using their dash action to run. So both of them are going to be currently out of view on this map view from where you are now, but they are just sprinting off into the darkness.
That's so creepy.
And
can't see the mouth.
The thing that just occurred to me, let me see. Okay. The thing that just occurred to me, how good, Lenore, you have very good dark vision, don't you? Like 60 feet even through magical darkness?
I have it too.
Ziggy, you do. Ziggy, you're even closer.
Mm-hmm.
You will see that although they are sprinting away from you up top, they turn up down below, out of view of this map where you are now. But if I zoom out enough, perhaps you'll see. I have to go to They have done exactly what you did before.
That old chestnut.
Can you see there now?
Yeah.
They're just down there at the bottom.
I reckon Hare would see it too, because he can see in it.
Hare has got a good view from up there and is a little fiendy fiend. They appear to be trapped with you in this place for the moment. And there are zombies still around all of you. And they have been told no different. So they are probably still going to keep doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
To save time, I'm going to roll a communal attack this time. I'm declaring it beforehand.
Okay.
We all know that if I roll another nat 20, I didn't plan it.
It's your night for it.
Oh my gosh.
Oh!
Oh my gosh. I'm not near any zombies.
Goodness gracious.
Oh,
My goodness.
he called it too.
I really did. I Babe Ruthed you.
Oh.
Okay. So that means Lenore, Lily, because Ziggy's not there anymore. Lenore, Lily, Cheryl,
I
and
reckon they're
Ziggy.
gonna kill me.
It's possible.
Matt Day thinks this situation is funny, by the way.
Oh, good for Matt Day.
He's laughing.
Nailing it.
Yeah, good
Absolutely
on you.
crushing it today. So that means all of you who
He must be
were hit, so that
more-
everyone but Drake is getting hit. And you're all taking 7 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh, that's okay.
That's not what should have happened.
Oh, don't double it.
That's what I should have done. I'll split the difference. It was a 4 and a 2, so we'll call it 7. Let's say it was
Okay.
2 3s instead of a 4 and a 2. There's fair. You all take 7 points of bludgeoning damage, except for Drake. How's everyone looking over there?
I'm
I got 20 HPs left.
Hey.
It's still double figures, but
Okay,
just-
girls
Yeah.
taking a beating. Okay, now they're still doing what they're doing, but the two others down there, womp 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 womp. What do we do? That takes us to Ziggy, then Drake, then Churl. Now you have just the zombies in front of you, as the people who are instigating things seem to have backed off, and the glowing orbs have paused. They're just hovering in the air, unable to move without that harmony. What are you doing, Ziggy?
Well, what do you think would happen if we threw the zombies in the water? Would they still be zombies with flesh?
No, I
Yeah.
thought about that before.
They would flesh out, yeah.
They would still try to attack us, right?
Well,
So how did can you just remind me, Adam, how
Yes.
did the colours change for the, like, it was just that because they pulled out the things they did, or did the orbs change the, I can't quite remember what
No,
happened.
I'm not sure which thing you're referring to. You're referring to when the
Zombies.
orbs.
How
like-
did they change the allegiance of the zombies?
So, well, it's maybe not quite accurate to say they changed the allegiance of
Well,
zombies.
yeah, okay.
There were zombies just zombieing, and then they became compelled by the orbs. As long as that music was going, the orbs were
Yeah.
both advancing downward toward the water and able
Yeah.
to engage or compel one of these zombies on each round.
So I reckon if we kill these wizards, then the
Yeah.
then the orbs will disappear, won't they? Is the blue orb still there?
The blue orb is still there, yes.
Okay.
I wonder if the water cleanses the zombies. I wonder if there's a bit of that.
Actually,
Let's try and
to your point, Ryan,
Yeah.
you asked that because the blue died. You're correct.
Yeah.
The blue
Yeah.
the blue orb has disappeared. The
Okay.
red and the yellow orb are still there remaining.
I reckon just go for those wizzos.
Do you have any ranged?
I wonder if I can use inflict wound.
That is a touch spell.
Oh, I can't. Oh, I could misty step and touch them.
If you have a spell slot left, Misty Step has a range of 60 feet, I believe.
Yeah, I
Can
have
you-
spell slot left for misty step.
Can you cast 2 spells?
You're right,
But
You
misty
cannot.
step is a bonus action, right?
but it is
Yeah.
a spell. So you can cast a spell and a cantrip on the same turn, but you can't cast 2 spells on the same turn unless you're a sorcerer with Quicken Spell.
Isn't inflict wounds cantrip?
No, Toll the Dead is,
No.
but Inflict Wounds is not. Your what's the speed? Your ferret doesn't have crazy speed and is quite far away. Actually,
5, 10.
but you can move and use your action or whatever from where you are. But you do have zombies next to you, so they will get, or one zombie will get an attack of opportunity.
What's your speed, Ziggy?
30?
If I run toward the back of the map, will I appear next to them?
yeah.
Yes, but that is actually further for you to go at this point than going down that way.
Yeah, I just counted them.
Mhm.
Same thing.
Well,
But if,
I mean, I could try to make them blind and give them disadvantage.
You could, if they're within range, to cast blindness deafness on them.
I don't think I have any range.
she just wants a bow and arrow.
Yeah, give me my arrow.
Well,
30 feet. 30 feet is the range of blindness, deafness.
yes, it is.
I reckon. Kill a zombie. Put a zombie in the water or something. Have some fun.
All right, I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna I'm gonna grab little Zomb to my left,
Okay.
and I'm gonna grapple him and throw him in the water.
Okay. You can make your athletics check. Likewise, if any of you ever would like, you can help each other using the help action and give someone advantage on something. So if you ever want to kind of like double time something, both take on action, especially since you are marginally less threatened than you were before. You actually have some scope to try doing things together. But it's up to you. Otherwise, Ziggy, roll your athletics check.
Fine.
Okay, 15. To save time, I'm just going to set a DC for these, and 15 would have beat that. The zombies are not super dexterous. So you've got that zombie. You can twist around and plop it in the water alongside your buddy, who, in the meantime, is getting up and in a daze, stepping out, and seems to be moving just as you throw your other buddy into that water. And just like with Lily, steam rises from where the water makes contact. And in a strange, sort of horrid rapidity, the water works its way up these old, bedraggled bones and begins to fill them with flesh. As Lily only stepped in momentarily, only part of her foot and leg now have this phenomenon, but standing there still, this zombie suddenly begins to be subsumed by it. And within moments, there is no longer a zombie standing there, but a very pale, complected human, blinking into the night air, dazzled, surprised. She opens her mouth, and Churl, this time you get a much better look as she takes in a startled look around. Tiny little fangs have emerged from either side.
We're really ballsing this up.
She in no way looks inclined to violence. She is just kind of staggering backwards, confused, and is likewise looking down at where this inky black water is moving up, covering her body. And she snaps to. Both she and the former blue person step out of the water. Drake and Churl, what are y'all getting up to?
Can I see the two down below?
Yeah, you can see them.
I know
down
they're there.
Yep.
All right, great. I'm going to use let's give Guiding Bolt a crack.
You're well within range for that. And I believe no, one step, but that doesn't change anything about Guiding Bolt.
I'm gonna crack it at yellow. It's right in front of me.
Okay, you can do that.
+7, wasn't it? +7. Come on, Matt Day.
13, unfortunately, is a miss, as this streak of gleaming radiant light comes pouring out from you and just goes straight between their two heads as they move side to side. That is Drake, your action. You got movement bonus action. Turl, what are you doing meanwhile?
What I would like to do. I've got two things that I might try. One's gonna make it it's silly. All right. So am I in 60 feet?
Of these folks down here?
Yeah. All right. I'm going to summon lesser demons.
Yes. Tell me what you're summoning.
So basically, I'm going to roll a d6, which will decide how many demons they are, and then you decide what. Yeah. So I roll a d6. It'll decide how many demons in the challenge rating, and then you decide what they are. As I'm doing this, I'm kind of creating a circle around myself.
Okay.
Just so you're aware.
You're creating a circle around yourself.
With I've got like a vial of blood from a humanoid that's been just killed in the last 24 hours.
Oh, interesting.
And I create a circle around myself.
I see. Okay. What does that 6 tell you?
It says there's 8 demons of a challenge rating of 1/4 or lower.
Wowie wowie. Okay.
And they can attack whoever they want, but I want them as close to those guys as possible.
Okay, so you can choose within 60 feet. I'm not going to pull up the tokens all around them, but there are 8, you said?
Yeah.
It's a bad day for these two. It's a very bad day for these two. 8 is enough to almost completely surround them.
Mm-hmm.
And funnily enough, Churl, as you cast this spell, the water next to you boils and darkens once again. And the figures of strange, small, winged shapes emerge from that water. And then as they move across the air, they begin to solidify. And these strange, scaly, winged creatures, gnashing and spitting with their tails barbed, sticking over their heads, scrabbling through the air and beelining straight at these two, who are basically powerless to stop whatever this is. I'm assuming all 8 of them can attack.
Yeah.
They're gonna do that. Okay. Now, I'm just gonna make sure I'm correct about this, but I don't think this is gonna go well for yellow. And I'm pretty sure red is gonna be in a real situation. I've got something pulled up here. Yeah, Ryan, I'd like for you to roll 8d6 plus 8, please.
Whoa.
So many.
44.
They're dead. They're dead.
That's so much more than me. You didn't
You
roll
left that for now?
Okay. So the 4 that tackle on to yellow begin digging their teeth and claws into the open bits through the, just disregarding the cloak, tearing it to pieces, their tails smashing forward into the flesh, and yellow just screams and then cannot scream as their mouth is choked by their veil getting inhaled into their mouth and drops in a heap as these tiny little winged demons just again. Red likewise is subsumed by all of these, and they all begin to just. Red is clinging to life by the just skin of his teeth, but is practically dead. Just holding on. Drake, did you want to move anywhere after you had finished doing that, or you're good where you're standing?
I'm good.
Okay, that takes us to Lenore at the top of the round.
So, Adam, you're going to have to completely rule of cool this because who knows what's going to happen. She's going to reach up and pat the zombie next to her on its face and say, "Oh, hello, dead friend." And she's going to cast protection from evil or good. So it might explode. It might get I don't know. Nothing might,
Let's find out what it's going to do.
I can read you the thing if you want.
Might have casting restrictions. Some skills aren't allowed to affect undead, so I just want to double check. Until the spell ends.
It's protected from undead. That's fun. Like, so I'm protecting it from itself, but also from celestials and aberrations.
The problem is that it needs to be a willing creature.
But the yellow one is dead. So this one, like, is it just...
You're right.
Nothing?
You're very right. The yellow one has died, which means that the yellow orb has gone out.
So this is a neutral zombs.
Yeah, a neutral zom. That means that creatures will have disadvantage of those of deck rolls against this. They can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed by them.
Yeah,
just the relevant part.
Yeah, trying to get it unpossessed.
So it can't be repossessed. As far as you can tell, your spell is to that effect successful. Nothing is going to be possessing this creature, who, while maybe not having an abstract will for or against possession, is probably happy to not be. So yeah, let's that happen. It won't be possessed. It is still in front of you, like thinking about coming for you, doing its thing. That takes us to our red buddy, who can do literally nothing, and is surrounded by 8 of these creatures, and shouts, "Corruption! Tainters of the sacred light! You invite death! Death and darkness! Death and darkness!" Immediately choked out by the just bloodlust and glory of these creatures tearing to pieces. And the red orb above that water out. For a moment, the zombies that are standing there sway on their feet, as if stunned momentarily by the shift in what has happened. You have a moment to collect yourselves, but maybe just. So, what are y'all doing, witches?
I want to take the hand of the zombie that I'm next to. Dead friend, and like walk it over to the water.
Okay. Can I take it that all of you have this purpose at this point with the remaining zombies?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, we can play out each and every one of these grapples and whatnot, but I think I'm going to hand wave that and say that you're able, in the interest of time here, it's 10:55. You're able to, by hook and by crook, and with the help of Lily, among other things, start to pull these zombies over here, those of you who are participating. Now, Churl, you've summoned 8 demons into the world.
Yeah, I might just not move, actually.
Yeah?
I'm going to stay where I am.
Okay. That's currently happening. Those demons are going to start coming towards you all as you're doing this. But while that's happening, they're making their way.
Do we need the others? Can we pull the other spears out?
My initiative for the demons.
If you know that if you don't pull a spear out, nothing's coming.
But are we meant to get them all? Is my question.
It's hard to say.
Did raise the past?
Hard to say. Is it?
Let's just go with what we've got.
Yeah. We'll take it or leave it. I think. Let's
but if we raise the other ones, they will. They're on our side. They'll, like Lily, they'll defend us against the demons.
I'm also worried that one of them is a vampire.
Yeah, that too.
Neutral.
As you push each of these into the water, one by one, the flesh creeps up their decrepit, broken bones, which reknit and form to their original state. Several more humans, an orc, half-elf, strange array of creatures before you, all much paler complected than you think they would have been in life, all sporting those elongated canine teeth. The water bubbles and froths with inky blackness as it touches each of them in turn. They each stand out beside you, blinking into the night, staring at you with confusion. The one who was there first, hearing those demons flying closer to you, scrabbling and squawking with delight, turns to probably you, Ziggy, as you were the one who dragged her over there. And she says, What are you?
I'm famous.
And as Ziggy says that, in the east, the first light of sunrise crests, shines across, and the quizzical look on her face becomes one of abject horror as her skin, just newly restored, begins to smolder, burn, and crack. And she and the others that you have just put into this inky black water lean back their heads and howl in agony as they begin to burn and singe and sizzle, smoke rising from their forms as they crumble into ashes. The demons who are flying towards you hold up in their flight. And then their eyes grow wide with fear, and then rage, and their forms begin to change. As that cold water that was so inky black is now crystal clear. And their forms return to the water, just like it was when they arose. And they are pulled back into that spring. The spring bubbles and froths again, and it begins to recede into the earth, leaving damp muck behind, but no other sign. In the rising sun, you can see that to the south, or southwest rather, one of the paths is slowly fading from sight. You look to the northeast, see that it's doing the same. But down, just at the edge of your eye line, is a silhouette of a figure walking away, flanked by a small white cat and a big black dog. Then it disappears from view. You can hear a voice as one by one, each of your familiars, slack jaws and blank-eyed, look up and in unison say, "You have made fair what once was foul, and by your deeds in darkest night, purged one portion of that great ill that rode the land like a hellish blight. And by your blood and by your wits, you have achieved great rank and great sight." The sun finishes its rise. Were this a campaign, you absolutely would be leveling up right now.
Question,
Witches.
do I still have Lily?
You do for the next 24 hours have Lily with a slightly infleshed foot. Unless you decided to put Lily in the water. Did you?
No, I gave her a camera and I told her to follow me.
You definitely don't have a camera.
It's the old one with like the cloak. Can you like wind
that's
it?
definitely don't exist.
Just
No,
a
not
sketch
thing.
pad.
Yeah, maybe a sketch pad.
Give me a sketch pad and a piece of charcoal.
Okay, Ziggy is still your, or Ziggy, Lily is still your first follower, Ziggy. And that will do it for our second Witchy One-Shot. Our witches, against some apparently long odds there for a minute, have proven successful by the aid of demons and indeed against demons of kind. So it's or spirits of some nature. Completed a strange ritual whose effect they did not fully understand until it completed. It seems that you have converted these cursed corpses into vampires, only to have them burst by the first light of sun.
Lenore will walk
seems-
over and tug on Drake's coat and say, "The pretty lady said our art would blaze, Drake. Our art blazed."
By the rise of sun. So it has. And that prophecy is done. Also, pewter. There, I did it.
Yeah, as soon as after, as soon as I said it, I was like, oh, of course, pewter rhymes with future.
Yeah, would have been good. Thank you, all of you, for sticking around for this extended one shot. We went a little bit longer, and thank you to you, the players, for staying up late on your Sunday, this All Hallows Eve, with us. Thank you, an unambiguous, unequivocal thank you to Matt Day, our designer, Rollcast, whom we always praise. Our thanks as well in an ongoing fashion to Eric Matthias, who made the soundimage.org, where we usually get our music. Due to some technical difficulties, we're not having it tonight, but we thank him anyway for that great work. Please, if you have not yet, subscribe to our channel here at Bardic Inspiration and click the bell on future streams so that you get reminded. You can also check out our prior Witchy One-Shot, Fair is Foul, and as well as the 2 campaigns by the Magical Cane Band and the Headless Marys, who will be returning, the Headless Marys, that is, next week, and the Magical Cane Band the week after that, for more of their campaign adventures during the month of November. Thank you all so much, and I'll close off, as we always do, by saying...
With a song.
Yes, a spooky, ooky song that goes like this. Thanks, and more thanks. Have a good night.